got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. Good morning. Hi, y'all. Welcome to the show and welcome back to work. It's Monday. Somewhere in the world, it is Monday, including the USA. I hope you had an amazing weekend. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773, 888-77-JESSE, Jesse, Jesse. Brand new biblical question this week. Brand new. And this question came about because I counsel with a lot of people all the time. And one of their primary fears, amongst many, but one is that they are afraid of criticism. So my biblical question is, do you have a fear of criticism? Do you have a fear of criticism? Fear is a evil spirit, folks. Fear is an evil spirit, but we'll deal with that later. We have every way that you can watch and support the show listed on JesseLeePeterson.com/show, JesseLeePeterson.com/show. And if you're out and about, you're busy running around doing whatever it is that you're doing, that you know that you're doing, and you just can't sit and watch the show, you still can be listening to the show by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500, 641-793-1500. All right. And to donate to have your comments read out loud, go to buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk. Buymeacoffee.com/JLP talk or rebuildingtheman.com. Rebuildingtheman.com. We dealt with last week's biblical question during the fellowship yesterday. And if you were not watching it live or you were not there, you can podcast it. You can podcast and check it out. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. So it's Monday. And for some of you who might not be aware, though we take all calls, Monday is, and we take the female call first on Monday. We take them at all time, but Monday is Female Monday.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Amazing. A spiritual battle. a warfare between good and evil, right versus wrong. It has nothing to do with the physical. It's not about color. It's not about male or female. You're either on the side of good or evil. And I have to tell you, most people, 98% of human beings around the world, human beings period, are on the side of evil. Only a few will find that straight and narrow path and get on it and stay there. Some even get on it, but get off after a while. They say, oh, this is too hard. This takes so long. This is that and that, blah, 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 right? They say it takes too long. But, so they get off. But the one that endures to the end, you get the prize. And only a few are going to endure to the end. And it's interesting. Amazing. Some of you may have heard over the weekend, Iran. I say Iran, but I hear the white people say Iran. So it must be Iran. According to the reports, they sent a bunch of drones over trying to attack Israel. And so apparently it's on over there. It's a mess. It's been going on now. The war been happening over there for a while now. And it's a mess. And Joe Biden sent a very powerful, scary, intimidating message to Iran. He's like, don't. Ooh, and Iran like, ooh, I'm so scared. I'm just so scared. Don't. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that our country has become so weak. Remember when we were like, it was being reported that we were the great, powerful country in the whole wide world, and everybody respected us because they feared us? Those days are gone. They are over. And as a result, the whole world is falling apart. It's falling apart. Isn't that amazing? Hopefully, help is on the way. Superman and Tonto. No, not Superman. Superman and whoever his partner was at the time. But I was thinking of the Lone Ranger and Tonto. The Lone Ranger is on the way. Help is on the way. And get ready, it's going to be a long, hot summer. And keeping cool will be the thing to do. Amazing. So, because we have weak leadership, there's nothing to keep things kind of even key and calm down. It's like when a father is not strong in his home, the wife and the children fall apart because there's no strength. My country has no strength anymore. Isn't that amazing? I never thought that would happen. But I understand now how and why it happens. So, as I mentioned, there was apparently some drones sent over to Israel over the weekend, and it's just been a mess. According to Reuters, Joe Biden on Friday said he expected Iran to attack Israel sooner rather than later, and warned Tehran not to proceed. Watch this from X.
Mr. President, to Iran in this moment.
Don't.
Ooh. That'll make you want to pull back, right? Don't. Don't what? How did we end up with a weak president like this? Why would other citizens of this country want to push a guy like that out there, knowing that our enemies are having a field day seeing that we have a weak president? What is wrong with the American citizen that they would do that? Amazing. Don't. Ooh. This is from NBC. Israel has vowed to extract a price. Israel has vowed to exact a price from Iran in retaliation for the large-scale area assault on the Jewish state this weekend. Watch this from the Wall Street Journal.
Iran launched more than 300 cruise missiles, ballistic missiles and drones toward Israel, raising concerns about broader conflict in the Middle East 6 months after Hamas attacked Israel. Israeli, American and other allied forces intercepted dozens of drones and the majority of missiles before they reached Israeli territory, officials said. It's the first time Iran has directly attacked Israel from Iranian territory. Here's how the conflict between the two countries escalated. Tensions in the Middle East had been building on several fronts. In addition to Israel's war against Hamas in Gaza, there have been cross-border skirmishes between Israel and the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah, and attacks by Yemen's Houthi militia against Western interests in the Red Sea. Hamas, Hezbollah and the Houthi rebels are all backed by Iran.
Amazing. So Houthi rebels, are they from Africa or something? When I hear Houthi, I think of Africa. Can you imagine living in a country where there's a war going on and you don't know if the bomb going to hit you or not, your house or whatever? Yeah, amazing. That's possible now here. I hope it doesn't happen, but because our government is so weak, it's possible. I'm being told that Houthis are from Yemen. That's according to Wikipedia. That's possible now in America. And when I was growing up, it didn't even occur to me that that was possible for this country, because we had such strong leadership at the time, all while growing up, that I was aware of. And I wasn't paying a lot of attention to news and all that growing up. I remember, too, in reflecting, growing up, it was known that Israel and America were friends, that Israel was our ally over there in the Middle East. It was just known by everybody. And I don't know anyone, and maybe I'm sure there's someone complaining about it, because people always complain. Human beings complain. But then it seemed that no one was against that. It was known that they were our ally. Now, there are people literally against Israel in America. My, how things change, huh? It's amazing how things change. It's because the heart is wicked. Never trust anyone with anger. An angry person, male or female, is an evil person and cannot be trusted. They are your enemy. I don't care how friendly or whatever, just know an angry person is your enemy. Now, I don't want you to freak out about it. Just be aware of it. That's all. That's all. The awareness will protect you. So we need common sense back, right? We need common sense. Remember, America used to be a common sense place. According to, this is from CNN, Donald Trump said that he thinks Islam hate us. Islam hate us drawing little distinction between the religion and radical Islamic terrorism. Watch this from CNN.
Do you think Islam is at war with the West?
I think Islam hates us. There's something there that there's a tremendous hatred there. There's a tremendous hatred. We have to get to the bottom of it. There is an unbelievable hatred of us.
In Islam itself?
You're going to have to figure that out, okay? You'll get another Pulitzer, right? But you're going to have to figure that out. But there is a tremendous hatred, and we have to be very vigilant. We have to be very careful, and we can't allow people coming into this country who have this hatred of the United States.
I guess the question is...
And of people that are not Muslim.
I guess the question is there a war between the West and radical Islam, or is there a war between the West and Islam itself?
It's radical, but it's very hard to define. It's very hard to separate because you don't know who's who.
That used to be a given. When I first started radio, I started interviewing people from who escaped the Islamic religion. And when they escaped, they had to go and hide in and all kinds of things. But they were saying that in the Quran, that Islam hate Christians and Jews and consider Christians and Jews infidels. I interviewed people that was ex-Muslims that would tell us that, and they showed it to me in the Quran, that Christians and Jews are infidels and worthy of death, and that you can befriend them, you can pretend like you like them, you're their friends, and all kind of stuff in order to deceive them, in order to destroy them. You can do whatever it takes. And for some reason, I'm being told that's not in the Quran anymore. So I don't know if it's still there or they took it out or what it means. But everyone knows that Islam hate Christians and Jews. They think we're infidels. Look how they're acting now that they are into our country. They're shouting death to America, death to Israel. In our country. In our country. Death to America. And they're not concerned about the government sending them back to their country. They're not concerned about that at all. They have no concern about American government taking action. Isn't that amazing? It was always known that Islam hates Christians and Jews, according to their Bible. According to their Bible. Yep. But now people act like they don't remember. The greatest sin is not to be present. It's to forget to be present. And Donald Trump is right. Finally, a little common sense into the mix of the confusion. Amazing. This is from Mediac. Conservative author Coleman Hughes offered Joe Rogan some pushback this week against his accusation that Israel is committing genocide in Gaza. Watch this from Joe Rogan.
You're killing 30,000 innocent civilians in response to something that killed 1,200 innocent civilians, and you're continuing to bomb an area into oblivion. That is at least the steps of genocide or a form of genocide.
So when you say 30,000 civilians, it's not 30,000 civilians that have been killed, though. The ratio of combatants to civilians is, I think it's better than the American armies was when we got ISIS out of Mosul. That was like 10,000 civilians dead to kill 4,000 ISIS. This is 19,000 civilians dead to kill 13,000. What's unique about this war, unlike every other war that I could think of, is you have an army in Hamas that has perfected the art of embedding itself and meshing itself with civilians so that you cannot hit them without hitting the people around them. Other armies have done this, but none have perfected it to the extent that Hamas has. Terrorists have found the perfect solution, which is that you can cross the border, go house to house slaughtering your enemies, and then hide behind your own people and they can do nothing about it. It's a perfect strategy. Can we live in a world where we allow that to be an acceptable strategy? I don't think so.
Amazing. Common sense. Interesting. Yeah, I've heard report. And again, you know, because I know the media and the governments, all governments lie. They don't tell the truth. You really don't know what the real detail is, right? You really don't know what the real deal is. And that's why until you know what the real deal is, even then, it's not good to take sides. Because human being egos are so out of control, and everything that human beings do is about self. It's never about anyone else but self. It's never about anyone else but self. Isn't that amazing? So you just don't know. It's funny how we can have peace on earth if everybody would just drop their ego, drop their anger. Just drop it. It'll be over. Peace on earth. It's interesting that God created human beings. All came from the same God, but look what happens on earth. Worse than animals. Human beings treat each other worse than animals because they're in an animal nature-like state, unnatural state, like an animal. Here's where they were chanting, and I was stunned to see this. I never imagined. This is why we should have these people in our government. Foreigners should not be allowed to get involved in American government at all. If you're going to let them come live here, that's in question. But to let them be a part of American government, like Rashida Tlaib and all these people, because they were born in a different world, different country, with different ideas, different beliefs, and they've been raised to hate America. And why would you let them move into your country and take over your government, be a part of your government? Does that make any sense at all? Detroit News has reported video captured chants of death to America by some attendees at a Dearborn rally. Watch this from X.
Last week, at an anti-Israel rally in Dearborn, Michigan, a crowd of Arab protesters erupted into chants of death to America.
For all of your chants and all of your shouts upon the head of America.
They're saying death to America.
The chants were not in English. They were in Arabic. These were recent arrivals, men and women that we had invited into our country as guests.
Wow.
America took them in. We gave them refuge in the heartland of our country. They live on our land. They attend our schools. They use our health care, and they're protected by our laws. And yet, they proudly call for the death of our country. For decades, America has had the most generous immigration system in the world. But today, in places like Dearborn, that generosity is being repaid with hatred. Countries that want to survive don't tolerate things like this. Yeah. America shouldn't either.
Amazing. Friday before last, when they chatted, it was reported that they were saying death to America and death to Israel. That was in America. That wasn't down over yonder. That's right down the road. Death to America by people that you allow to come into your country. What do you think going to happen if this is allowed to continue? And these people, they don't mind dying for what they believe. They'll scrap a bomb around them and walk into a cafe or anywhere. It's over. Allahu Akbar. And this woman, that was in America. I want you to smoke on that. That wasn't over in Allah country. That was here in our country. And these were a bunch of young people who have no sense at all. They really don't know why they're carrying on like that, except they've been taught that. And they haven't examined if they should do it or not. And you have these people in our government with this belief. What do you think they're thinking and doing? While you're fighting with one another, these people running our government now. They're involved in our government. Amazing. It's just mind-blowing when you think about it. And because we have weak emotional leadership, they can do what they want, act in the kind of what. They're not afraid. I remember there was a white guy out of New York, a Republican guy, who ran for Congress or senator or something like that. He won. And the Democrats started having a hissy fit that he had lied on his application, lied about this and lied about that, lied about everything. And they wanted him out. And the stupid Republican, who are not for America, by the way, George Santos, thank you. And they wanted him out. And guess who joined with the Democrats to get him out? Republicans. But yet, they will leave a female like Rashida Tlaib and that other woman from Michigan, I can't think her name, who Ileana Omar, supposed to come here as a refugee. They'll let these people stay in our government, and they're clearly not for America. They let it be known that they don't stand with America, but they're in the government. Don't you learn all the secrets when you're in the government? This is from the National Review. Representative Rashida Tlaib refused to condemn death to America chants at a rally in the district she represents. Watching from Fox.
Congresswoman Tlaib.
Fox News. I don't talk to Fox News.
At a rally in your district, people were chanting death to America. Do you condemn?
I do not talk to Fox News.
But do you condemn chants of death to America?
I don't talk to people that use racist tropes.
Why can't you just say whether or not you condemn people chanting death to America? Why are you afraid to talk to Fox?
Fox News is not listen, using racist tropes towards my community is what Fox News is about, and I don't talk to Fox News.
Is death to America racist?
Fox News.
Is chanting death to America racist?
I'm talking about your guys' racist tropes. You know, you guys know exactly what you do. I know you're Islamophobic, but you guys got to go deal with it on your own self. You're not going to use me.
Amazing. That female is involved in government. Mind-blowing stuff, a spiritual battle, and it's amazing. 888-7753-773. If ever we needed you, Lord, we need you now. Come by here, Lord. Come by here. When I come back, your phone calls and your super chats. 888-77-JESSE. Back in a moment. I have books that are amazing. I highly recommend you get them. 7 Guaranteed Steps to Spiritual, Family, and Financial Success Guide. Even if you're not starting a business, but you have a job, or you're on welfare, It can help you if you do. Be doers of the word, all right? From rage to responsibility. From rage. That's what I write about in the first chapter, especially how I overcame. Scam. How the black leadership exploits black Americans. They are using them, and blacks are too willing to be used. And then my last book, The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood. They are all amazing books, and they are helpful. Go to rebuildingtheman.com if you want an autographed copy, or call 800-411-2663. Okay, welcome back. The Hake Report is coming up at 9 a.m. this morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. TheHakeReport.com. And after the Hake Report, Joel Friday TV, he black at 11 a.m. Pacific time, right after the Hake Report. And then the American Anchor Baby, flying high on natural energy. Did y'all catch the American Anchor Baby flying high this past Friday? If not, you can podcast all the shows, but check them out. At 12 noon today, the American Anchor Baby. All right? We're gonna, it's amazing to me what's happening right now in the world and in my country. If I didn't grow up when America was an amazing country, I would not have anything to compare it to. And I guess this would seem normal, what's happening now. The craziness would seem normal. 888-7753-773. Let me go to Rosa out of the Netherlands. Rosa, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, Rosa.
Great. I wanted to answer the biblical question from, I think, 3 weeks ago. It was if that is possible, because I am not able always to look at the shows because of work, but I look back at the shows and then I learn, I like the biblical questions and I answer them myself, but I would like to know what you think about my answer.
I don't know what it was 3 weeks ago. What was it? I don't remember what it was.
What is hell? What is hell?
Oh, what is hell? And you say?
Yeah. I wrote it down. If you give me 1 second, I will pick it up. I wrote down. Can you still hear me?
No.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, I can.
Well, I wrote down. First, I asked the question, what is hell? And my answer is, hell is having fear. I say this because sometimes I'm in a situation where I feel uncomfortable, and the first thing I do is run away from feeling uncomfortable. And maybe I'm still in hell because taking the white sauce always feels satisfied to me. And then I ask myself the question, what is satisfied? Satisfied for me is feeling instead of not feeling. And what is not feeling? Not feeling is like being on heaven. That's my answer.
Why don't you, when the feeling of fear comes, which is hell, by the way, why don't you relax in hell and go through it?
Because I wanted to answer the question most honestly possible. I like feeling satisfied. I don't know. And satisfied for me is like feeling good. So having a feeling. and I see myself wanting that a lot in life, with not only wanting to be in hell, but also like your new biblical question about criticism. If I don't know what it was again, it was, I think the new biblical question was,
But how would
do you like criticism?
How would you ever have perfect peace if you don't relax in the hell and go through it? How would you ever get past it? Because feeling good feelings are just temporary feelings, which is hell too. A feel-good feeling is hell, and it doesn't last either. That's why you go to feeling good, to feeling fear, to feeling good, to feeling bad. Why not just relax in the hell and let God save you from it, take you through it?
I think, to be honest, I feel like I'm doing that right now because I try to answer the question as honestly possible, but the reason why I stayed in the same how I was feeling, that was because it's easier to take a wider side of stuff, I think.
It's easy to take the wider side, you say?
Yeah.
And so are you now trying to take the narrow road? Are you practicing going through the hell, or are you still running from it?
I am practicing staying in it.
Oh, okay. And don't call it, when you're in it, don't call it you. Don't argue with it. Don't communicate with it. Don't overreact.
Yes.
Just quietly go through it.
I do. And not only that, what I also see in myself is that I have not lost, because your friends are actually not your friends, but it felt like a loss since I'm doing like I disconnected myself from people, because if you want to stay in the light and you stay to your true self, you find yourself more alone, and it's hard, but I think that's a part of the dying.
Why is it hard to be alone? Because even when you're with so-called friends or family members or marriages or whatever, you still, in reality, you're alone, and you just have a false illusion that you have someone with you, but those people don't really care about you, so you're still alone. So why are you afraid of losing them? Why do you feel like a loss?
I still identify with I still identify. I don't know how to explain it, but it's a good question. But maybe I think that I like them, or I need them in my life. Maybe it's that.
Right. Oh, I understand that. And that's why I try to warn people all the time that all thoughts are all lies all the time about anything. And that's why you got to go through the hell so you can overcome the thinking. It's some practical thoughts about making dinner or where you're going to live and all that. But it's the thinking that is the problem, because the thinking is evil. It's not. There's nothing. So-called good thoughts and bad thoughts are both evil, and so you want to live a life. And if you continue down this path and die from it, you're going to live a life of no thinking, and that's when you'll be free.
Yes, I'm trying, and I am listening now. I was when I first met you online on the internet. I was 19 years old. I'm now 22.
Oh, okay.
And I can say that you always said if you stop doing the silent prayer after a while you're doing it, there will come demons at you. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but it will be harder to come back. And I want to come back because I I stopped with the silent prayer for a while, but I feel like the demons I need to face now are harder as before.
Well, don't worry about that. You just come back to the silent prayer, be aware, and don't let the demons talk you out of not coming back, because they will use that against you too. And because, as you have heard me say, the last thing that the thoughts, which are not your own, which are evil, the last thing they want is for you to be still and be aware of them. They don't want you to see them. And so just relax and come back to it and take your time, and don't let the demon tell you, oh, you're not going to get back. You stop. Don't fall for that either, all right? All thoughts are all lies all the time.
Yes, I got the same, like now with I smoke pot, but I want to quit it, but I heard you saying, like, don't try to quit. Just see yourself doing it, and eventually you will let it go.
Yeah, but
I'm trying to do that.
Don't just do it just when the urge first comes. Don't just do it. Try not to do it. Stay away. But let's say it gets so strong that you really can't help yourself. Don't fight it. Just be aware of yourself doing it. Be aware of yourself lighting it up or whatever you're doing, rolling it up and all that, and then puffing on it. Be aware. And the awareness, if you can do it without any opinion about it, no judgment of self either way, don't call it good or bad, the awareness will destroy that old nature. It'll cause you to lose the appetite for it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So just be patient and take your time and relax. Don't overreact, and you're going to be fine.
I love church, by the way. I will one day go to the U.S. to visit the church, because I would love to fellowship with you guys inside of the church. I feel like I'm still fellowshipping, but not in the show.
Right. But you're welcome anytime, all right?
Yes.
All right, Rosa, thank you. Relax and just take your time. Don't rush. Just watch and don't try to make anything happen. It will happen on its own.
Thank you very much. Have a nice day.
You
Bless
too.
you all.
You too. Amazing. 888-7753-773. Diane is out of Texas. Diane, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Diane.
I have a question. Okay, I know that you said that the man is not supposed to listen to the woman. The man is supposed to lead.
Right.
But my husband is not on the same page. He'll always ask me for advice and things like that. So I don't know how to approach it. I don't want to ignore him, but I don't know how to like deal with it in a practical way, like how to respond.
Can you give me an example without being too personal of what kind of advice he wants from you?
Okay, so for example, let's say we need to make a decision on whether we need to buy a new car or not, or something like that.
Right.
Instead of him to say, this is what we're going to do, he starts asking me, should we do this or do we, you know?
And how do you normally respond to a question like that?
So at first, before I would tell him, but now I say, no, you decide. And
nice.
Then he'll say, no, you decide. He'll say, it's just like, he'll tell me, like, you're part of the family. I need your input. And if I don't get your input, you'll think I'm abusing you or lording over you. And I'm like, no, I won't. So it's like, it kind of goes like that. So,
were you like that with him before you started to work on yourself? Did you act that way?
I would before I started working on myself, I would respond. I would say, this is what we need to do. But now that I'm working on myself, I'm trying to not be, I don't want to take the lead. I want him to
All right. Here's what I recommend. Do what you want, of course, but here's what I recommend, because I don't hear his side of the story. Don't get angry. Number one, drop the anger. Don't get angry at him if and when that happened, all right? Mm-hmm. And then don't just say, no, you make the decision. And leave it up to him, and don't make the decision. And eventually he will make it.
Yeah, he does make the decision. But it's just that initial, that first time, it's kind of like he'll be asking me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to work on my response to be better, because before I did get kind of angry.
Yeah,
but now I'll just be like, no, you decide.
Right.
So, and then, but I don't want to be rude about it. I don't want to be like,
But if you don't get angry at him, because you're working on yourself, and he might not see, he doesn't see things the way you're starting to see them. And when you guys started this relationship, you both was in darkness, so you didn't start it out right anyway, right? And so now you just be patient with him by not being angry at him doing that, because he may be accustomed to you guys operating that way. So stay away from the anger, and you will see how to deal with it perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, thank you.
And it's difficult in that when two people are married and then one decide they want to start working on themselves, waking up, it does become difficult, because now the other one's still stuck in the old way, the wrong way, and it makes it a little harder for the one that's, whether it's the man or the wife, the husband or the wife, it's a little harder for the ones that are waking up, but practice being patient and don't be angry. If you feel that anger, Diane, just let it pass. Don't call it you. Don't blame him, because the anger is already in you. Mm-hmm. Don't blame him. And just let it pass. I'm telling you, you'll be fine.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right, thank you.
It'll be amazing. So, again, when that anger comes, you watch it. Keep your eye on it. But don't blame him, because it's inside of you, and he's not responsible for the anger that's inside of you.
Right.
But don't call it you, Diane. It is not you. You want to stop identifying with all things.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I wish you well, Diane.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. What a mess. Super chat. Super
chats. Joey bought you 10 coffees. Very generous donation last week. Shout out to Joel.
Thank you, Joey.
His thoughts during last Sunday's church, not this past Sunday, but the one day before, were amazing. Deep.
What?
Shout out to Joel, as in Joel Friday.
Right.
His thoughts during last Sunday's church were amazing. Deep. 2 Sundays ago.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
Travis bought 3.
That's amazing. Thank you.
3 coffees from Travis. Jesse, I am under the impression God is calling me to learn about Christ. 37. Read the Bible more in the last 2 weeks than ever in my life. How does a man separate the sinner from the sin? I'm unable to look past a man's actions to his heart, but only get hung up on what I see. How do I find in my heart to forgive the atrocities of the world when I see people doing such things? I want to be a better Christian. Any wisdom? I'd be grateful.
Come out of your head. God is not calling you to learn about Jesus. That is totally from the devil. Come out of your thoughts. God does not do that kind of stuff. All right? And just relax. Do the silent prayer and watch those thoughts. But don't call the devil God, because that's what you're doing. And you will see you'll be fine. But you got to come out of your head. And don't be talking about God calling you to do this. What now? Thank you.
He says, God bless everyone seeking Christ for salvation.
God bless you too. But relax. Come out of your head.
All right.
Amazing.
All right, Hernandez the 4th bought 5 coffees. Jesse, my boy is 5 months old now. I see myself in him so much now. It's amazing. Also, I was finally able to bench 300 pounds for 1 rep last week. Took me 3 years. At age 31, 5 foot, 665 pounds myself. I was like, what the?
Amazing.
Fully doxed. Thank you, RH, as always. Urinal chills. We got to arrest Joel's parents, too. They didn't teach him Arkansas and Shreveport, Louisiana. Arkansas and Shreveport, Louisiana. Okay, nice.
Thank you. Amazing.
Neurotic Psychotic bought 3 coffees. Hey, JLP, did you ever hear the late, great Rush Limbaugh eloquently refer to Dearborn, Michigan as Dearbornstein?
No, I did not. May Rush Limbaugh's soul rest in peace.
The high Muslim population.
He was a great influence upon America. Amazing.
Indeed.
No, I'd never heard him do that. Thank you, though.
Dear Bornestein, not Dear Bornestein. Thank you, Neurotic Psychotic, for the coffees.
Thank you.
In your experience, ask someone with a coffee, does there come a time when it doesn't seem like there's much more enduring to do? For the first 6 months after forgiving, I was having to endure it all. Feelings would pop up and I would watch and endure. Now there's way less of that. For the large majority of the time, I'm just calm and at peace.
Amazing. Stay with it. Stay with it. Stay with it. Amazing.
Life comes in waves.
Yeah.
C on C bought a coffee.
I wouldn't ask that question either, because that's what the devil wants you to do. Don't let the devil convince you to ask those type of questions. Just relax and don't try to compare what you're going through with what someone else is going through. It'll be a setup or not going through. Thank you, though.
C on coffee. Jesse, I have a shoe high heel emoji. Shopping addiction. What should I do?
Hide your money away from you, from yourself. Stop it. It's all ego. Don't do it anymore, see, What? Tell your boyfriend to help you stop it. I wish you well.
Justin.
Thank you, see,
a Cash App for shout out to Hassan and Sandy. Dog emoji, salute emoji. Actually, he put Sandy and Hassan. Sandy goes first.
Amazing.
Bond JLP on Cash App. Shout out to last week's top contributors. These are actually from Friday.
Oh, okay.
WD41, Evgeny Crosby, Coffee Talk with Sandra, Stan69, Henry Ford Lives, and Aries 1. Thanks for the support, guys, as always.
Amazing. Thank you all. I want to get some calls in
Okie
and
dokie.
we'll finish.
We'll do the Sunday ones
Yeah.
coming up next.
Sunday one coming up next. Amazing. Turn James' mic off. Let me go to Georgia. Georgia on my mind, and talk to Denise. Denise.
Good
Okay,
morning,
I can see it now.
Jesse. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning,
Thank you for taking my
Denise.
call.
Yes.
My question came about because last night we were watching an older video that you did on idolatry. And my husband and I have been following the congregation Messianic for the last 4 years.
Messianic?
Messianic, yes.
Uh-oh.
And we just found you recently after watching you on the Roseanne Barr Show. And we started doing the silent prayer because prior to becoming Messianic, we were into meditation for several years prior. My question is, we see a lot of ego, especially with the rabbi. We see a lot of ego and emotions and whatnot in the congregation. And this is even before we start listening to you. Are we on the wrong road here? I'm a little confused.
If you're not judging the people, they can't help themselves. If you just see it but don't have an opinion about it, you're not on the wrong road, wrong path.
Okay.
But if you're judging them, then you're still on the dark path. You never left the path.
Okay.
It's enough to see it but don't have an opinion about it. They can't help themselves.
Should we be involved with?
Can you hold for me, Denise?
Sure.
Let me take a break. 888-77. Quick break. The news. Back in a moment. Get a copy of my book, From Rage to Responsibility. I write about how the spirit of anger was taken away from me 29 years ago. I forgave my mother who tried to turn me away from my father, and I returned to my father, and through him, my father on earth, and through him I was able to return to God. No man or woman can return to God unless you go through the Son. And men are sons of God. There may be weak, pathetic examples of it, but it's the spiritual order of life. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. So get From Rage to Responsibility. I write about that. Go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com for an autographed copy, or call 800-411-BOND. And donate to my nonprofit, Bond, the Brotherhood Organization of a New Destiny. We are rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man.
Terrible things going on in the world. This is the end of hour 1 of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show. JLP will be right back to your calls, guys. It's Monday, April 15th, tax day in America, AD 2024. Stay tuned for hour 2. But first, Hake news, not fake news. The 101 is shutting down over here in SoCal. Just, I guess, up in the valley somewhere. CNN reports a major Los Angeles highway will undergo weeks of closures. Not entirely shutting down, just like 5 hours at a time overnight, midnight to 5 a.m. or something like that, to construct the world's largest wildlife crossing. Officials say traffic detours will begin today, or already have begun today. Worker crews work to create an overpass for mountain lions, coyotes, deer, snakes, and even ants. So weekdays, overnight, starting today, Monday. The crossing will span 10 lanes of highway, will be a safe passage for wildlife, especially mountain lions, also known as cougars. And interestingly, this overpass will be named after an old lady, 84-year-old Wallace Annenberg. From the Santa Monica Mountains to the Simi Hills of the Santa Susana Mountain Range. CHP has the info. And 101wildlifecrossing.org. If you're up in that area and you need to cross sometimes, you want to find out what's going on. Iran, big Iran scare. Iran. CNN and the far-left female-run outlet The Skim report. Iran unleashed a barrage of missiles and drones on Israel over the weekend that escalated regional tensions stoked by the war in Gaza. Israel's war cabinet determined to respond. Maybe they have already. I'm not sure. Has yet to decide on the timing and scope. More than 99% of the 300 projectiles were intercepted by Israel and its partners, according to Israeli forces. Crooked Joe Biden and members of his national security team told their counterparts the United States would not participate in any offensive action against Iran. Meanwhile, reactions to Iran's strikes have poured in from so-called world leaders, some openly condemning Tehran, which is the capital of Iran, others calling for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza, and almost all urging restraint during a moment of huge tension in the Middle East. What a mess. Trump on trial, speaking of mess, by the criminal government. Are they criminals? CNN and The Skim both report our greatest president, Donald J. Trump, will make history today when he arrives, if he hasn't already, at a New York City courthouse as the first so-called ex-president. Once a president, always a president. To go on trial for criminal charges, despite a blitz of last-minute attempts to derail the trial. Jury selection, expected to get underway, will continue for at least a week until a panel of 12 New Yorkers, get that, New Yorkers, some of the silliest people, shout out to the silly people, and juror alternates are seated. I didn't get on a jury. What a shame. They must have doxed me. The historic trial enters around a potential S-word scandal cover-up, which was probably fake, that took place just days before the 2016 presidential election. Trump is denied having an affair with adult film star. They call her Stormy Daniels. Real name, Stephanie A. Gregory, maiden name, Clifford. Stephanie Clifford, not to be confused with the journalist woman. Expected to be in court 4 days a week for the next 2 months. Wow. Depending on the jury's verdict, the presumptive Republican presidential nominee in the 2024 election could be a convicted felon. Awesome. Based. Tax day is today, the day the IRS expects you to file your 2023 tax return and pay whatever you owe or get paid. If you can't file your return by today, you should apply for an automatic 6-month extension. Some people get an extra day or two if they live in Maine, Massachusetts, or D.C. due to holidays. I'm James Hake. Now back to the Jesse Lee Peterson Show, Hour 2.
to stand up strong, face the truth about themselves, to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Igniting the races with truth. I didn't realize we were back so fast, folks. My bad. Wow, they went fast. That was my bad. I was late. Rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. We also uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. Welcome to the second hour of the show. I'm Jesse Lee Peterson. You can get involved by calling 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. Brand new biblical question for this week. Brand new. Do you have a fear of criticism? Do you have a fear of criticism? If you're out and about and you're too busy to be watching the show, no matter working out, whatever, truck driver, we get a lot of truck drivers listening to the show as well. You can be listening on your iPhone or iPad by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. That's 641-793-1500. And don't forget to donate and have your comments read out loud. Go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk or Bond JLP Cash App. Bond JLP Cash App. All right? And we're going to get to your super chats. We're going to finish up on Sunday now in a minute here. It's Monday, and every Monday is Female Monday. All my life I fight.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
It's amazing. Take control of your life, folks. You're supposed to be in charge. No one else of your life. Work on your life. Why don't you work on your life? It's amazing. 888-77-JESSE. I want to go back to Denise, a first-time call out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. And Denise is a Messianic Jew. And she and her husband are working on themselves now. Denise, thanks for holding. So you want to know if you and your husband should stay at that church or leave?
Yes, that's because we see, okay, I'm going to give you a really strong and good example. In the last few months, there has been congregation members that have left. And it seems that the rabbi, we don't know these people. We've never been there in person. They're in Tennessee. We're in Georgia. We have, we just never been there. And
so you never gone to the church?
No. My husband has counseled with the rabbi in the past. And when we first started watching them, they were very small. and they would do feast, and then people would come to the feast, and then, you know, he would say, oh, you need to move here, you need to move here, you need to move here. And people have moved there. And as we're seeing it grow, there's people that were there for like 10 years, they've left. The biggest thing is that now Rabbi and the congregation believe that he's the voice of God. Like, so straight up. And it's become a thing. And this is, like I said, this started even before we've known of you or any of, that you teach, and which, yes, we definitely feel it works.
Well, I can't tell you if you and your husband, that's a decision that the two of you have to make. But I can tell you that do not ever, as long as you walk this earth, don't make a decision based on what the crowd are doing.
Right.
Don't never, ever, 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 but never follow the crowd. You and your husband see what's best for you guys, and you do it based on that. Because weak people always follow the crowd. Weak people cannot stand alone. They have to have a crowd because they're of their father, the devil, and the devil cannot stand alone. So don't make a decision based on the crowd at all. If you don't know what to do, have a wait and see.
Okay.
So
all right, very good.
Let me ask Denise, Messianic Jew is a Jew that believe in Jesus?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Have you always believed in Jesus?
Absolutely. I was raised a Catholic. My husband was raised Jewish. But as an adult, I became a Baptist, and I raised my children a Baptist. And then I'll make this maybe a little short. My ex-husband became a woman. So during that period of time, I didn't do anything as far as Christianity because I lost all, direction, so to speak. So I kind of really delved into all different things. And during that period of time, I met my second husband. And we were into more of Qigong and yoga and meditation practices.
So are you Jewish?
No.
Oh,
well,
you're not a Jew.
I have Ashkenazi, but I'm not born Jew. No.
Oh, so you're born just a regular white woman?
Correct.
But your husbands are Jewish. Both your husbands Jewish?
Not my first, my second. My present husband is Jewish. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now you become a Jew because he's a Jew, right?
Well, it wasn't like that. We both found, like I said, we weren't practicing anything. My husband became very ill. It's a very long story.
So let me ask, is he your husband is Jewish, though, right?
Yes, but he wasn't a practicing Jewish when I met him.
And the first guy you were married to, you said he became a woman?
That is correct.
Oh, I see. And so now, I wish you well. But now just take your time and slow down, and you and your husband have a way to see about whether you want to stay with the church you're with, and you'll see for yourself what to do. But until you see what to do nothing. All right?
Okay.
All right. I wish you well, Denise.
Thank you. I appreciate your help.
You're welcome.
You have a great day.
You too. Thank you. 888-7753-773. What a mess. Let me go to Travis out of Canada. There's one line open. Travis, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse. How you doing today?
All is well.
Hey, man. I'm going to kind of make it brief because I called, I think 3 weeks ago, maybe 4. I called you because I was struggling with porno, and you gave me some advice to forgive my mother. I did. I didn't make it about the porno. I just forgave her for everything.
Right.
That may have gone wrong.
Yeah.
And it felt like this huge weight lifted off of me. Like your advice worked, and so I just had to thank you for that.
If all human beings were to just put their eyes on themselves, take it off everybody else and put it on themselves, and drop that anger, forgave their mothers, male and female, and forgave their father, we can have peace on earth today. Total peace.
Yeah, you're probably right. And you know, it's like I've seen quite a bit of your videos, and like I hear you giving the advice all the time for guys to forgive their mothers, and I never took the advice like vicariously, if that's the right word.
And why didn't you take it before?
I don't know. I think I had to be told.
And how about
directly?
How have you forgiven your father as well?
No, I'm not in contact with him anymore.
Do you know how to find him?
No.
Oh, okay. So you.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm in touch with my stepfather, but I mean my relationship with him is a lot better than my biological father.
But if you wanted to reach your biological father, are you able to reach him?
Probably. Like if I tried hard enough, I probably could.
So, did you grow up with him?
My biological father?
Right.
No.
Oh, you never known him?
When I was really young, like before 10, I think is when he left the picture. I'm 31.
Oh, okay.
I reconnected with my biological father a few years ago. Probably 10 years ago. And we've had a off and on kind of thing the whole time. Right now, we're not on speaking terms.
And why don't you speak to him now?
If I could get in touch with him, I probably would forgive him, but I wouldn't. I feel like I need to wait until he's able to respond to me, because it would just be kind of me texting him, and I wouldn't even wait around for a reply, because I know that he would curse me out.
All right.
And he himself, he's gay. So I mean that kind of that kind of adds to it.
Well, are you doing the silent prayer?
Today I prayed out loud.
Oh, here's what I recommend. Go to rebuildingaman.com/prayer and still do your little praying out loud. And once you're done with that, do the silent prayer so that you can let go and let God take completely over, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right, but I wish you well. Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you, man. I love you.
You too, buddy. Take care now. Amazing. It's like this all over the world, folks. Anger is not good. And every human being, no matter what language, where you are, rich or poor, black or white, Chinese, it doesn't matter. You must forgive. You got to forgive your mama. Every human being must forgive mama. Ain't no such thing as a good mama. Now, there are mothers who are starting to work on themselves. They're overcoming. So they're getting a taste of good, but no such thing. All must be born again of the Father. And born again simply means coming out of the darkness into the light. Admitting you're wrong for being angry. That's what it means to confess. And realize you're wrong and go and forgive, you can enter in. It's a spiritual thing. Josh, there's one line open, 888-775-3773. Josh, out of Georgia, on my mind. Hey, Josh.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
All is well. How you doing, sir?
Doing fine, man.
Nice.
Doing fine. Yes, sir. I was calling for the biblical question.
Do you have a fear of criticism?
No, I don't.
And why not?
I see fear as it's always an illusion, but the thing is that the fear it doesn't look like fear. Sometimes it looks more practical, or like in the case of criticism, sometimes I can't tell if somebody is just trying to insult me, or they just hate me for whatever reason. They're just trying to make me feel bad, or if they're being honest. So it's once I recognize that it's fear, then I definitely don't. I welcome it. because it can help me. I know it can help me, but that's the problem with fear, is that you don't know if it's practical or if it's the illusion.
Amazing. I want to respond, but I can't. I got to wait until Sunday, but very, very interesting, man.
Yep. Yes, sir.
So you can't tell the difference between practical fear, meaning you would not go into a hood or somewhere and be attacked, or you look both ways when you walk down the road. That's practical fear. And then there's another fear that is in the emotions, in the mind. You can't tell the difference between the two of those?
A lot of times I can't.
Oh, okay.
It's because it's like, I drive semi trucks for a living, and I drive right by all kind of hoods all the time. Like you were just talking about that place in Michigan where all those Muslims are at, where they say "Death to America." I drive by there all the time off I-75, and I never even knew that was there. So that you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know all that's going on, but maybe that's not any real danger there right now. But I don't know.
Amazing.
So yeah, you never know.
Well, I appreciate it, man. I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise.
All right. Sounds good, man.
All right. Thank you, buddy. Be safe out there on the road.
Yes, sir. We'll do.
All right, buddy.
All right, man.
Bye. 888-7753-773. Is it Gabrielle? Gabrielle, a first-time caller out of North Carolina. Gabrielle, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well. Thanks for calling.
Great. I'm calling because I'm having the hardest time getting the message through to my girls. I have a 15-year-old and a 23-year-old that all women are evil and they need to forgive their mom and return to their father. How do I tell that to girls? How do I tell that to young girls? Because I want them to get this before it's too late, because I'm 36 and I've just now received this year.
So have you gone and forgiven your mother?
Well, my mom passed away when I was 12 years old, and that's another thing. I don't know how to forgive her if she's not here. How do I do that?
As you get to know yourself, you're going to discover, if you already haven't, that there is something in your mind and emotion that control you. It makes you think a certain way that you wouldn't ordinarily think. It makes you do things that you wouldn't ordinarily do. And you say, I would never do that again, but you end up doing it again, getting angry or whatever, right? And it's like you can't help yourself. Something else is driving you. And your mother had the same problem. It came from your mother. And if you can understand you can't help yourself, it will cause you to realize that your mother couldn't help herself, and you will forgive her now that she's expired.
Okay, so what does that look like? I mean, I'm just as if I'm remedial. So what does that look like? Like 1, 2, 3. So
what does what look like?
Like the process, because you said there's something that I know that's inside of me that controls me, that I don't want to control me, and I say, hey, this is happening, but I don't want it to happen. So, like, if she's dead, what is the step that I need to take, or just realizing the fact that it's there? Is that the forgiving process?
Repeat that. I'm sorry.
So the fact that I can see that there's something controlling me that is not me.
Yeah.
And recognizing that, is that part of the forgiving process? I would forgive my...
Let me ask this. Do you have anger?
Yes, I have anger.
And how do you know you have anger?
Because of my actions. Well, because of the actions that happen when I'm angry.
And do you want to be angry?
No, I don't want to be angry.
And why not?
Because it's not a good place to be. It's not healthy for me. It's not healthy for my salvation. It's not healthy for my girls.
And so why don't you drop the anger?
I don't know how to drop the anger.
And you just drop it.
So if I'm angry in the moment, just say, okay, no, stop. And then that's it.
Yep. If you're angry in the moment, just watch it. Don't talk to it. Don't call it you. And just watch it. It'll be taken away from you. Because
So is that what I need to tell my girls also?
Yeah, but you're not ready to tell them yet because you're not seeing it clear for yourself yet.
Okay.
Because what's going to happen if you sincerely start working on yourself, you're going to see something, what's going on with you, and you're going to start to change, and your daughters will see that change in you because you stop trying to impose anything upon them, and that could help them if they're ready to overcome.
Okay. So it's just premature right now. So it's pretty much a mistake to even say anything to them about it.
Yeah, because you don't clearly understand it yet.
Right.
You have it intellectually, but you don't understand it spiritually. But if you stay with it, don't hold on to the knowledge. Let the knowledge pass and do the silent prayer. Are you familiar with the silent prayer?
Yes, and I've been doing it morning and night.
Yeah, stay with that and watch those thoughts. And I'm telling you, you will start to see clearly. And you may not have to tell your daughters at all, but if you do have to tell them, it will be with the right spirit.
Okay.
And if
I have to admit, Jesse.
If they're not, hold on that thought, don't forget the thought. If they're not ready to overcome, you have to just leave them in their hell until they get tired. If they get tired of it, cry out to the Father, and the Father will save them as well. But they may not, especially the older, well, both of them, if one is 15, they might not be ready. They may love their hell for now.
What? At 15?
Especially at 15, because 15, you know, they use that as energy. They might not be ready. But I don't know, she might be ready. I know some 15, you know, who are overcoming, right? So have a way to see even about that.
Okay.
But you about to
This
say...
is the hardest thing I've ever had to do.
What is the hardest thing?
To forgive my mother and return to my father. And, you know...
Yeah. And why is it so hard?
Why is it so hard? Because for one, it's just like a metaphoric thing. It's like it's not a physical, a tangible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps that you have to take. It's all spiritual. It's all in your head. It's all in your mind.
Yes.
It's like if I've never had control of my own thoughts and the devil has been controlling me my entire existence, then the battle is serious.
Yes. I can promise you without a doubt, there's not one human being, including you, me, and anyone, who has ever been in control of their own life. They have never had their own thoughts. They've never created a thought. They have never had an original thought. They are not in control. Nobody. Not one human being.
Okay. So, Jesse, I have one more question, and then I'm going to let you go. I was my youngest child when she was about 2 years old. I left her father, and he took her for Christmas, and he kept her for 7 years. Like, he ran all over the States. I could never find him or anything. And so finally, he called me once his wife left him, and he was like, I need you to come help take care of me and this baby. And I'm like, what? I'm not coming to help take care of you, but I'll come for my baby. And so when I got there, he didn't want me to leave. He wanted to start a family and all of these things. And I'm like, you're still married. Your wife is pregnant. And so I just, like, waited until I got a good opportunity, and then I ran away with my child, and I ran to North Carolina. But now I'm just looking at it like maybe I should have left her there because it's just been so much hell since I've taken her.
And does he still want her?
He does.
And why don't you let her go back?
Because I'm a wicked woman and the devil is controlling me. Right. I mean, and it's crazy thing is I pay him child support every month for her.
Wow.
For the past years because technically he has primary custody, and he's like, I'm not going to drop it. You can continue to pay child support, or you can just bring her back here. And so now I'm just like paying him child support and still taking care of her all month
And does she
for
want
the
to go?
past 6 years.
Does she want to go back to her
No, she
father?
doesn't want to go back.
Why
no,
not?
She probably doesn't want to go back because I've ruined her.
Oh.
And I've
What a mess.
a real mess.
Why don't you do? And I'm not there, so I'm not. I'm just getting your side of it. Why not apologize to her for what you've done, taking her away from her father, admitting that you were wrong for doing that, and you should have left if you had wanted to leave, but she should have been able to stay with her father. Why haven't you?
I did apologize to her for that, and I left a long time ago, like right before she turned 2 years old, and she left with me initially. But when he finally got her for Christmas and he never brought her back for 7 years, I didn't know where she was.
Oh, I got you.
So when I finally caught up with him, when he reached out to me and was like, hey, my wife's leaving me and I need you to come help take care of me and the baby. And I'm like, what? I'm not taking care of you, but I will come take care of my daughter. And he's like, the other day, he's like, you should have just stayed. You should have just stayed here in Tennessee and just made a life here and not tried to take her. So now you're going to suffer.
Amazing. What a mess, huh?
A major mess.
So your daughter, 15 years old, she does not want to go back to the father.
No, she doesn't want to go back to her father, but I truly believe it's because I have ruined her towards her father. And I asked her the other day, I said, do you feel like there's anything you need to forgive me for? And of course she said yes. And she said, I've forgiven you already. I said, do you feel like you need to forgive your father for anything? And she's like, no, my father has never done anything to wrong me.
Right.
And I was just sitting there like, oh my God, what have I done?
And so is she able to, does she communicate with her father now?
Yes, she does, but he's at the place where he's like, I don't care about talking to anybody because at this point I'm not going to go back and forth with you, and you're just an evil woman.
Here's what I recommend, because I'm not hearing his side. I'm just hearing, I would recommend you continue to just work on you for right now.
Okay.
It is always better to, if you don't see clearly what to do, it's better to do nothing. Continue what you're doing, do nothing until you can see clearly. And so now that you are starting to look at yourself and overcome this anger, I will wait and see what to do. It'll work itself out one way or another.
All right.
So just
thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. Just work on you. How's your relationship with your father?
Oh, he's the apple of my eye. I love him so much.
Oh, good. Well, just work on you and don't judge yourself about anything. No matter what has happened, how bad it was or how so-called good it was, don't judge yourself. It was never you. And God is not judging you for it at all because he knows it was never you. It was always this anger, this spirit of evil that made a home in your mind and thoughts. It was never you.
Okay.
So don't judge yourself. It's enough to see it, but don't compensate with it. Don't judge yourself. You can't make up for anything. Every moment is a brand new moment. So just live in the present and work on you, all right?
All right. Thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome. Let me know how it goes.
Will do.
All right. What a mess. I'm telling you, folks, not one human being has ever been in control of themselves. You've been controlled by evil until you start to overcome evil. Then you will be controlled by good. You will never be in control. You're not God. Let me take a quick break. 888-7753. 773. 888-77 Jesse. When I come back, your phone calls and super chats. And we're going to explain July Just Be a White t-shirt. Amazing shirt. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingtheman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. Okay, folks, welcome back. 888-7753-773. 888-77-JESSE. I do personal shout-outs for you. Birthday shout-outs, wedding, anniversary, encouragement. I would do them myself. Go to Cameo, CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. CAMEO.com/Jesse Lee Peterson. And check out our merch. Amazing merch at rebuildingtheman.com/store. Rebuildingtheman.com/store. And we have the amazing Tar Baby T-shirt is back. It was once banned, but we have it available now to offer again. Rebuildingtheman.com/store. All type of mugs and T-shirts and hoodies and all type of good stuff. And then July Just Feel White T-shirt. It's not available yet, right? Until we get to July. Yep. That is not available, but get ready. It will be soon. July is coming real fast. Let me go to Jeremy, a first-time caller out of Florida. Jeremy, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, how you doing, Jesse? Good morning.
All is well, Jeremy.
Well, I had a general question. I've been watching you for the last couple weeks, and I do listen very closely. And it's just one right after the other, and I like where you kind of get to the point, and how people kind of go around it, and it's just, I feel personally that's like the enemy that attacks us constantly everywhere, wherever we go every day. But I also know that God also talks to us, and there's people that know how to listen to God when they talk to, when they're being spoken to. So I kind of question when you stated that all thoughts are evil. So would you mind elaborating a little bit? Because, like, based on what I said, though.
Well, God does not talk to you. The devil talked to you. And anyone who tells you that God talked to them, they're talking about the devil, and they call him God. God reveals to those who want to see. His voice is a revelation. He revealed to you where the devil talked to you, and that's why he said, bring all thoughts into captivity. And they're not your own. They're not of him. They're of your father, the devil.
Yeah. And the reason why is because, like, you know,
So you don't know anyone that God talked to. They lying.
Damn. That's crazy. Amazing.
Amazing.
Well, and I know our job is we're supposed to serve and worship God and spread the gospel. That's our job. That's what we were built to do.
That's not your job. Why do you think that's your job?
Well, because we were built to serve him. To worship him.
Nope.
What? Say what? No, wait. Let me ask you a quick question, if you don't mind me interrupting. What religion are you, if you don't mind me asking? I'm a Christian.
A Christian? I'm a Christian as well.
Okay. I was growing up in the church.
Why do you
like the Pentecostal style church, like, you know, so it was more like, there was more restriction, but of course I was the little black sheep growing up, and you know, it sucks, but it's where I'm trying to build a relationship with God and get closer, because everything that we see nowadays, brother, we're hurting each other, and everybody I notice is greedy. I'm in the contractor business.
Yeah.
And I see it everywhere. Everybody's greedy, and they don't care if their other families suffer, and it's like, I just want to get closer to God, because this stuff is written. It's going to happen anyways.
Why do you believe that you were created to worship God? To worship and serve God?
Well, because it's just like every time when you, like, I feel like when you ask God for forgiveness, or let's just say you reconcile to God, or you accept Jesus as your one and only Savior, and he washes all your sins away, and you accept that that's the fact, and you're not trying to go back, and you don't want to go back. And every time you get that temptation that you want to smoke a cigarette, and you say no, you're worshiping God. Am I wrong?
You're wrong.
Dang. So.
But why do you say you were created to worship and serve God? Why do you say that? Where did you get that from?
I got that, man. My whole life growing up. That's just in just other. You know, I've been a bunch of Christian churches, and they've always been. You know, we've always are built to worship God, because God is a God of order,
and
as well as He's also like. Yes.
And so, have you been worshiping God?
Yes.
Has it been working?
As much as I can. Yes.
In what way? In what way does it work?
Let's put it like this: when it gets to a point where, when I pray at night, I had a drinking problem, you know, with my own workers, you know, just, you know, celebrating is good and blah blah. But then it came to a point where I felt like it started kind of taking a little too much drinking, and I'm like, hold on, man, like, I got to slow down. I got my wife, I got my 2 stepkids at the house, and I got to be that example. But after I just cut cold turkey, I was like, you know what, man, like, that's the enemy, because what does alcohol bring? It ain't a good time.
Why do you think
all it brings is destruction?
Why do you think that what you've been doing working when you still don't have peace?
Apologies.
You still don't have peace.
Yeah. And the only reason why is because I feel like I haven't fully given, maybe it's because I fully haven't committed, or I'm holding on to something.
The only reason you don't have peace is that you have not forgiven. You have not forgiven your mother and your father.
I have forgiven my father, though.
Why haven't you forgiven your mother? If you want peace, you got to forgive her too.
Because my mother, the only reason why I say that is because my mother never really, she was a strict mother, that she was old school, man. I used to get hit and smacked because I didn't know how to behave. I was a knucklehead. But also, my mom also was a woman of God her whole life, and all she did was serve God and her husband. The only thing is, my biological father, he messed up. He was in the Marine Corps. He got dishonorable discharge. He used to hit my mother. I used to see it as a child. And, you know, he was leading a bad life. It came in to a point where my stepfather got out. I mean, my uncle came out of the Air Force. He heard what's going on, and he ended up taking us out of that home. And we ended up starting over. That's when my stepfather came into play. But, yes, I have forgiven my father. I want to say about 8 years ago, me and my sisters, we flew out to Chicago. And we said, let's just go visit Dad. I wonder how he's doing. And it's just because we all got older, but at the end of the day, we don't want to live, or I don't want to die, because I know that if you can't enter the kingdom of heaven if you haven't forgiven, if you haven't, you know,
why haven't you excuse me. Why haven't you forgiven your mother?
Because I don't feel like there was anything to really forgive. The only thing is that I did was the fact that, you know, she was making me a mama's boy, which is something that I see now that I'm glad my stepfather came into play and made me a man.
You should forgive her for that, because that's evil. You should forgive her for smacking you and carrying on.
I didn't think about that.
You should forgive her for smacking you when you were a kid. That was evil. And your father didn't know how to deal with the hell in her, and it made him look like the bad guy because you identified with the mother as a kid rather than not identify with either one of them, because the fight with your father and mother was between the two of them and not you. But you're not going to enter into the kingdom of heaven until you forgive your mother.
Yeah. Yeah.
Your mother was not an angel. Your mother was held to pay.
Well, actually, just to give you a little, I really don't speak on it, but I'm glad I'm on the show because I feel like this is a place where sacred, you know, people can actually overcome, and I really like that about the show. And now, honestly, I know for a fact, my father, when I was, the way I was born, I was brought into the world because my father raped my mother. And my mother, because my grandmother, she went ahead and said, yo, what? Yo, you were like the one of the purest ones in church. And now they're going to talk back. And she ended up marrying him out of that and out of fear. And I used to see a lot of beatdowns, you know? And it came to a point where, you know, I'm from Chicago, man. So it was just a rough city growing up in general.
Yeah, I understand.
You know?
But you still got,
so
how did you find out that your mother was raped, quote unquote?
I checked my father. I ended up I grew up, I'm a big dude, and
So
I
your
pulled him
father,
to the side.
he told you that he raped your mother?
Yeah.
Oh,
And
okay.
he teared up too. And I was like, you know what? I'm glad you told me the truth.
Yeah.
Because now I can move forward. And I love you, and I gave him a hug. And you know, we talk now.
What
you know,
made you
he's
ask him
remarried.
about that, though? What made you ask that of him?
Just I guess it's just the initiative in me. You know, I'm a contractor, so it's like, you know, when
So you
I do
didn't
a job,
hear
I gotta
that
wait
from
30 days, so I
didn't
check-
hear
I heard that from my mother.
Yeah.
I heard that from my mother and my grandmother way back in the day, but I was always scared to ask them because it's such a question that's none of my business, but it also is kind of my business. I want to know.
Your
you know?
mother and grandmother was evil for telling you that. That wasn't your business. That was between your mother and your father, and it had nothing to do with you at all. And they were evil for telling you that because it caused you to be angry at your father, taking your mother's side and taking your mother's side. And that's why you've been living in the darkness. You got to forgive your mother and your grandmother, man. They screwed you up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know now, like I'm pretty sure they're good out. Trust me. All they do is read Bible and fast all day long. When I go to the house, they're always worshiping God. You know, I guess it's a part of life, you know, because you're always a knucklehead when you grow up, and then when you get older, you're like, damn.
But you would not have been a knucklehead had your mother not turned you away from your father. Your mother imposed a will on you, and you were acting like your mother. And when she would see you acting like her, instead of apologizing to you, she made you think you were acting out on your own. You didn't just wake up and start acting out on your own. She recreated her image, and that's why you were acting that way.
Okay. That makes more sense.
That
does make more sense.
Yeah, and she was looking at the mirror when she was looking at you acting out. She was looking at herself and her mother.
Wow. Amazing.
Amazing.
Hey,
so
Jesse,
you got to
I really appreciate your time, man. Honestly, I really want to get to the bottom of this stuff.
Yeah. You got to forgive your mother. You got to go to her, hey, mother, I'm sorry for resenting you for screwing me up. And I realize now you couldn't help yourself because her mother did to her what she did to you. Her mother's an evil woman too, right? And so she were angry at her mother, so she became like her mother.
Yeah.
Does your wife obey you?
My wife, yes.
She obeys you?
Yep. I used to be a DJ in the clubs downtown, so I used to get a taste of life early, but when I got out of that because it got so repetitive that it's just like, you know, there's more to life than just this.
Right.
You know, and I got out. But my wife, she's been a homebody. You know, she works a regular job, but you know, she does respect the house. She keeps the house clean. She's always I get home, she already got food there. You know, I don't even like, hey, babe, what do you want to eat? No, she already got food out.
Nice.
You know, how was work, honey? You know, and men out there, never give your wife bad news when you go home from work.
That's right.
If you did give her bad news, it's because you're lazy.
Yeah, don't talk to your wife about your stuff at all. But let me change this. Go to rebuildingaman.com/prayer and start doing the prayer, and then forgive your mother. And don't have any expectations from them. If they say, I'm sorry, fine. If they don't, fine. You forgive them. God will forgive you. And I'm telling you, the light will come on. Your heart will be changed from anger to love. And the rest you will start to see how to overcome, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you, Jesse. I love you, brother.
Love you, too. Let me know how it goes.
You got it.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye.
Amazing. Super chat. Super
chats. Ciao, or KO, said Google defines sinner as a person who transgresses against divine law by committing an immoral act or acts. That is what I am, have been, and will struggle with. This is why I call myself a sinner.
Amazing. Thank you.
That was before church
Check
started.
out yesterday fellowship. We responded to that. rebuildingaman.com/church.
Alex, 10 coffees. Hey, Jesse, appreciate the show and everything you are doing. Just wanted to give back and say thank you. God bless, my brother.
Thank you, Alex.
Yeah.
Alex, thank you for your support. We got a lot of work to do. I appreciate it. And stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Stay with it.
Generous donation, too.
Thank you.
Alan, a day's work on X. Women are so easily misled. Says Midwesterners send their kid into a cornfield with a 410.410. I assume that's a gun. And tell them don't come back till they have something to eat.
Amazing. It's amazing. We had an interesting discussion about that, too, yesterday. And I want to encourage y'all to take control of your own life. The kids are subject to their parents, but parents, you're supposed to be individual thinkers. That's how I grew up. I grew up, and you're not supposed to be a group thinker. Look at the group. The group is messed up. And they're always wrong. That's why they have a group, so they can have somebody to validate them, to make them feel like they're right. Because if not, they start to feel weird that they're standing alone. Like, what the? And most people are not willing to stand alone, so they join groups. Become an individual. These so-called experts, except my experts, on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, they don't know what they're talking about other than my experts. Think for yourself, think for yourself, think for yourself. What's wrong with it? Trust nobody. No man, no woman, nobody. Only don't trust. Don't freak out, but just don't trust. Let it pass. Amazing. Thank you.
Fantastic, Mr. Foe on X. Got a 22 when I was 8. Nice.
Amazing. Thank you.
Prep Ham Paul is a monthly subscribing payer on Rumble. I have felt
to know how to rumble.
Until we are perfect, we are sinners. My wife says once we have God written in our hearts and accept and follow Christ, we are no longer sinners, but now saints. Is it just semantics here?
How can you be a sinner if Christ said all your sins have been wiped away? Think about that. All your sins have been wiped away. Why do you call yourself a sinner? Because some preacher told you, some Bible thumper, male or female, told you. Now you're repeating it and you're stuck. What a mess. Thank you.
Prep Ham Paul. So all who have accepted Christ and who are not sinners, quote unquote, and make mistakes, whether bad thought or slip of the tongue in words or something, isn't sinning?
All your sins have been wiped away. Pay attention to who's driving you. Pay attention to the thought you get and the emotion. All thoughts and all emotions, except practical thoughts, what you want for a meal, you want a house down the road. All thoughts are lies, and they make you do the things you don't want to do. It's not you. Amazing. Thank you.
Prep Ham Paul, still not perfect at every morning and every night with the silent prayer. That's why I have not called in yet to the JLP show, because I know Jesse will ask. Laughing face with tears coming out.
That's right. You got to work on yourself. No human being can change you. It's a spiritual battle. Thank you.
But you can call in.
Yeah, you can call in. What the?
Face that embarrassment. Evgeny Crosby with a diamond. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson in one word. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
Justin Gwynn. Oh, shout out to Justin for the shout out to Sandy and Hassan. Chalice donated a few Cash App donations saying thanks. Thanks.
Thank you, Chalice. Amazing. I appreciate it.
Cold Burger Art bought 3 coffees. If crazy is a crime, then we all need to be locked up. Evil society making crazy parents who make crazy children, and the law is there to punish whoever breaks the law of the land, and whoever is the cause of the crazy must be forgiven and not punished, Joel.
Anyone that has anger is insane. You live in your imagination, and the imagination is an insane place to live. It's pure hell inside of you. Isn't that amazing? Thank you.
Piotr Robel, 5 coffees.
And he responded to Joel saying the parents should go to jail.
Yeah.
What the?
For missing the signs. Piotr, 5 coffees. Thank you, Jesse and the team, for the best fellowship on this side of heaven. Amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
This is Trump.
Amazing. Nice.
Someone bought a coffee. Does being made perfect mean we will never be wrong again?
I don't understand the question.
Being perfect, you'll never be wrong again?
I don't understand the question.
Oh, okay. All right.
Can you restate that question for me, and then I can respond? All right? Amazing. Thank you, though. Appreciate it.
Soul Conscious, 5 coffees.
It sounds like a sincere question. I just don't quite understand it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that you could say stuff wrong or be mistaken or whatever. Anyway. Soul Conscious, 5 coffees. Jesse, the government want to lock up the shooter's parent. But what about the outside influences? The world tells people that anger is fine, emotions are fine, fear and righteous anger are fine. It's not surprising when someone acts on their anger.
Anyone that tells you that anger is from God or that Jesus was angry, or anyone that tells you that anger is good, that's your enemy. They are working on behalf of evil. Believe me, anger is not good. There's nothing good about anger, and it's an unnatural state of being. You can overcome it. Thank you.
Danny Moore bought a coffee. All right, Jesse and the lads. Jesse and James, do you think if both parents were born again and have a baby, would that baby grow up not needing to be born again?
Repeat that.
If both parents were born again and had a baby, would that baby grow up not needing to be born again?
If both parents were born and had a baby, if they would have returned to the father?
Mm-hmm.
How could they be damaged if you don't have any anger? If you have perfect love, of course, that's what you're going to pass on to them. And by the kids being innocent, that's what they're going to receive, and they'll be fine. Amazing.
That's a big if. I think, because he asked me to. That's a big if, and there's no, I don't know.
You're not going to find one like that, though.
Yeah.
A parent like that, by the way.
Shout out to the parents.
Yeah, but thank you. I got to take a break. Amazing. One more hour to go. Thank you all. One more hour to go. Hake is coming in with the hate news, not the fake news. And I'll be back in a moment. And we're going to take the calls and finish your super chats.
I just want to say thank you for everything that you do. You've absolutely changed my life for the positive, and I just want to thank you. I was 29-year-old beta, living at home with my mom, and just was living in fear and in doubt, and I couldn't hold down a job. And then I found you, and I started listening, and I started just being more at peace. And I forgave my mom, and I forgave my father. And it's like right after that, everything just changed in my life, and I was able to get a good job, and I moved out, and I live on my own now, and everything has just changed. And I just want to say thank you, and I appreciate you for spreading that message. It really is a positive message.
Amazing. That's good, man. I want people to know God loves us in ways that there are no words to express, because you have nothing to compare it to, right? Stay with the silent prayer. You haven't seen anything yet. It gets better.
stabbing attacks in Sydney suburbs in Australia. What a mess. And Boston Marathon is today, so watch out for bad guys. And there's WNBA update, including lesbians having a baby. Immodest Nike uniforms. The ladies, the female athletes, some of them are complaining. And then, but some ladies who are flying on airlines are complaining or have been complaining about airlines enforcing a dress code on them because they dress too immodestly. Gloria Allred on the case, running her mouth. Female feminist lawyer liar. Another mess going on in the world. This is the end of hour 2 of the JLP Peterson Show. It's Female Monday, April 15th, AD 2024. The lines are full, guys. JLP will be right back to your calls. But first, Hake News, not fake news. And after the JLP Peterson Show, you can catch the Hake Report. I'll be talking about those ladies complaining about Alaska Airlines and American and Delta. Shoot. And then after that, Joelle Friday TV. And, of course, American Anchor Baby. So cool. A couple stabbings around Sydney, Australia. Or a bunch of stabbings, really, if you count them. Stabbing. CNN reports on this quote, "In the darkest of times comes sometimes the brightest of lights." That's what Ryan Park said. New South Wales Minister for Health, commending the life-saving efforts of hospital staff following a tragic stabbing attack incident in Saturday at an Australian mall. 9-month-old baby injured in the deadly attack in Sydney's suburb of Bondi, but has since shown significant improvements thanks to the help of medical professionals. So said the family in a statement. I think the baby's mother died, though. 6 people killed, I think, stabbed to death. Wow. And this attacker may have targeted women, including a Chinese student gal who had phoned her fiancé just minutes before the attack, and she had turned up dead. Terrible. And another incident, that was Saturday, and then another incident, I guess, Monday? They had church on Monday. It was a Syrian Christian church, Christ the Good Shepherd Church, that was highlighted in the mainstream media for not supporting the LGBT agenda or something. Several wounded in a stabbing inside an Australia church in the Sydney suburb of Wakeley. I don't know. Shout out to those down under. I don't know how to pronounce your names. What a mess, huh? On a Monday, I think. And the Boston Marathon takes place today with around 30,000 runners from over 100 countries. What a mess. Expected to participate. Maybe they're already doing it. The 2024 WNBA draft will be held today. Historic college basketball season Iowa star Caitlin Clark expected to be drafted first overall pick in the 2024 WNBA Women's NBA draft today. She's actually pretty good. She shoots pretty well. Loaded with talent, they say. And speaking of the evil WNBA star, which sounds like contradiction of terms, Brittany Griner and her quote-unquote wife, Sherelle, expecting their first child. They shared the news on IG, Instagram, evil Instagram. Terrible. There's an ultrasound. Nike outfits, too immodest, even for some of the ladies. Nike, U.S. track and field athletes criticizing the company's Olympic uniform as sexist and revealing. Comes after images were made public last week, shared the first look at a track and field kits for Team USA. Female athletes were calling them skimpy, according to the females at the Skim. Nike said they're providing Olympians with multiple uniform options. Not the first time uniforms have raised red flags in women's sports. Passengers can be removed from a flight for what they wear. Of course, sandals are fine, but bare feet won't fly. You can hear Hake read about the turbulent issue of airline dress code policies, courtesy of Commie Nonsense Network, CNN. Women complaining. What's new? I'll also tell you in the Hake report about old folks working. 75 plus, fastest growing age group. I'm James Hake. Now back to JLP.
got to stand up strong. Ain't the truth about themselves to understand what went wrong. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way to stand up, stand up, stand up.
Uniting the races with truth instead of dividing them with lies. We're also rebuilding the family by rebuilding the man. I'm Jasmine Peterson. Welcome to the third hour of the show already. You can get involved by calling 888-7753. 773 888-77-JESSE. My biblical question for this week, and it's a doozy. My biblical question: do you have a fear of criticism? Do you have a fear of criticism? I like that background there. Where y'all find all those folks? That's the Black Lives Matter people? What amazing. You could be listening to the show on your iPhone or iPad. If you're like busy working out or making breakfast, lunch, or dinner, laying up at the beach, or over in Dearborn, Michigan, shouting death to America, death to Israel, or you, whatever, having a war, whatever you're doing, you can be listening to the show by calling the listen line at 641-793-1500. 641-793-1500. All right? And don't forget to donate and have your comments read out loud. Go to Buy Me a Coffee. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. BuyMeACoffee.com/JLP Talk. It's Monday. It's the third hour of the show today. Every Monday is Female Monday.
I like to make men uncomfortable.
All my life I had to fight.
Let women take over.
Some of us believe that women are getting paid less than men.
I proudly say I'm a feminist. Thank you.
Deep in their soul, they want to be home with those babies. We've been lied to for so long.
Yeah, what a mess. I want to do this before I go back to the callers. I noticed that everybody and their mama, everybody and their mama, but everybody and their mama are victims. And there are a few people who are free. There are some men and women who do not see themselves nor act as victims. They just endure. They deal with the situations. They don't complain about them. They just deal with the situation. They take care of the situation. But most men and women today are victims. They cry, they wimp, they get angry, they blame, they whine. They live at home with mama until they're 90 years old or until mama die. But there are some people who are not victims. I want to give you an example of the two reality. Freedom versus victimhood. Here's an example of some people who don't consider themselves oppressed. Watch this from TikTok.
I said that as a black person, I'm not oppressed. And I mean, you could say that anywhere else in the world and it'll be like, yeah, of course, we understand. But people, maybe a small minority, but a very loud minority, especially at that time where everything was so overly politicized, really didn't like me saying that as a Black person here in the Western world, having have come from Zimbabwe, a country that is, the population is genuinely, truly oppressed. And I know what that looks like. I'm not oppressed. I'm not oppressed because of my race. I don't see my race as a burden.
It's interesting, too, that, people who believe that they are oppressed, they don't want to hear anyone say that they're not oppressed. They will attack you. Can you imagine people who think they're oppressed will attack the people who believe they're not oppressed? If you're oppressed, how are you going to attack? You ain't that oppressed. But they don't want to hear freedom. They love their victim mentality, and they don't want to hear there's a way out. How many Black people want to hear that white people are not their problem, never have been, never will be, ain't going to be their problem at all, period? How many Blacks you think want to hear that? How many of them want to know the real problem is in their home? They need to forgive their mothers and return to their fathers. That's all. Every human being has to do. But how many of you think of them that want to hear that? They'll go after you for suggesting that. They'll attack you for even considering giving them a way out of their fake idea of victimhood. They love their hell. That's why God leaves them there. Anyone that doesn't want to come out of your hell, him or her, no matter what race or color, God just leave you in your hell. And let the Christians pray for you. Lord have mercy. What a mess! Right on for her. This is from Newsweek. A Black woman who went viral after hugging Donald Trump. And I call him the Great White Hope, right? After hugging Donald Trump at a Chick-fil-A, says meeting the former president was a learning experience. Watch this from Fox.
I don't care what the media tells you, Mr. Trump. We support you.
We love you.
Okay, 4 p.m. We've been 4 p.m.
Come here, let me give you a hug.
The general consensus or social media would have you thinking that if President Trump were to show up to the HBCU campuses or walk around the AUC community, that like some angry mob would form or a riot would ensue and that he would not be welcomed. And clearly the sentiment in that room the other day was the complete opposite. He was very welcome. People were excited to see him. People showed up in support of him. I know they're trying to make us think we're supposed to hate you, but we don't. They were able to see and experience firsthand how the media can warp the perception of an opinion or a person, is that they feel like he's honest. They feel like this is somebody who, while we might not agree with how he says things, how he goes about things, at least he's telling us what it is. We don't feel like this is a snake in the grass waiting for his chance to bite us. This is somebody who's telling us, this is what my plan is. Here's how I plan to execute it. Here's the people involved. And here's how you can get involved.
Right on. Thinking for herself. Rare in America today. Isn't that amazing? I don't know. What is 4 p.m.? What does that mean? I don't know what 4 p.m. means when she said it. But here's a woman, a female that want you to be a victim. For personal gain, I believe. She wants you to be a victim. Watch this from New York Post. Democrat congressman is calling for Black Americans to be exempt from paying taxes as a form of reparation, though she admits that the plan may not work because many poor Black people ain't really paying taxes in the first place. Watch this from X.
Just this past week, I saw, I don't remember which celebrity, one of the things that they proposed is Black folk not have to pay taxes for a certain amount of time, because then again, that puts money back in your pocket. But obviously then you start dealing with the different tax brackets and things like that. And that's one of the reasons that, you know, we argue the reparations make sense, because so many Black folk, not only do you owe for the labor that was stolen and killed and all the other things, right?
Lie.
But the
A
fact
lie.
is, like, we end up being so far behind. If you do the no tax thing, for people that are already, say, struggling and aren't really paying taxes in the first place, it doesn't really exactly.
They may want those checks like they got during COVID.
Exactly.
That's evil. That female wants you enslaved. Amazing. But I'm tired of paying taxes, so I'd be okay with if they don't let me pay taxes anymore. I pay too much. We pay for Ukraine mama, and Ukraine mama, and not doing anything for home. Another poor victim from Breitbart. So-called actress Jenifer Lewis had a meltdown during a recent interview claiming that Donald Trump is Hitler. Watch this from Progress.
If that man gets in, as soon as he takes the oath,
comb your head.
He will have generals walk down the steps of the Capitol. He will take a hammer and break the glass where the Constitution is, and he will tear it up in our faces. And say, now, I'm the king of the world. You will bow down. He will punish everybody that didn't vote for him. Let me tell y'all how I know this. I know it because I know what mental illness looks like.
Like you. I look like her.
That mania is unstoppable. This mother Hitler. He didn't come to play.
See how evil she is? That's evil. That's the devil in her. That's evil. Those are the kind of female raising these black children that's out in the street robbing and raping and carjacking and fighting against the cops and hating white people. And you can always count on the wicked witch of the West with the low IQ, Maxine Waters. Watch this from X.
As a member of Congress with people, you know, who evidently had a racist attitude. And recently one even confronted me in a restaurant. And they don't say racist things, but what they say is they don't like something I said. They don't like a position that I took. But you know that, you know, if you were not Black, you would not be approached that way.
They probably would not. They would think twice about doing it. They think
lying
that they can get away with doing it with you and that you're.
If you see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
The president responded via tweet. Congresswoman Maxine Waters, an extraordinarily low IQ person.
That's right. You're not welcome anymore. Walk out the door. What an evil female. She's the same female that told the blacks at a church once that the Republican Party want to tear down the projects. And she named all these projects, some of these projects in the LA area. And I'm not going to let them do that. Not only am I not going to let them tear down the projects, I'm going to build some new projects for y'all. And the blacks went, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Why she, as it's been reported, living in something like a $3 million home. Something like that. What a mess. You can think for yourself. You can do for yourself. It doesn't matter the color. Only you can keep you down. Only you. Only you. Nobody else could. Only you. And blacks work harder at keeping blacks down than any other race. Only you can keep you down. It's up to you. You can be free or you could be enslaved. It's all dependent on you. You are your world. You are your universe when you start to wake up, but you are your world. Nobody else, as an adult, can keep you down. Whatever that is, no such thing anyway. You just think that you're down. And if you think you're down, you're going to try to get up. And if you get up, you're going to try to not to go back down. But if you didn't think either way, you'll be free. All thoughts, all lies, all the time. No such thing as a true thought. Brandon is a first-time call out of Michigan. Let's see here. Brandon, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Thank you very much, sir. Let me just hop back in my truck here, the way it gets quiet for you. All right, can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, JLP, I just want to let you know, man, you've been helping me out so much lately, and I appreciate it. I just started listening to you about a month or so ago. Heard about you from my uncle. Jeez, I feel some moments out of breath, man. It's crazy. It's like I'm almost getting nervous right here. But,
relax.
Yeah, man, it's amazing, dude. I've been, feeling like a stronger, independent man since I talked to you.
Right on. Yeah.
I've been having some woman problems, and it seems as I have been starting to get stronger, my relationship has been deteriorating almost. I think I just had a woman that couldn't really handle it. So, I grew up with kind of a rough upbringing, and I always knew, I had the capability and the potential to be a true man, but we had a lot of spirit of the female in our family, and it caused a lot of, I think, insecurity and all that for me. And as I've been listening to you, it just kind of ensures me and been building me up a little bit, and I love it. And basically, my question to you, well, it's more so, like I said, I've been listening to you. You helped me out a lot, and it's more so how I can continue to move on from this. I was in a relationship for about 3 years. My girlfriend came from Florida, and, she grew up without a father and whatnot. So, she's pretty independent and strong and this and that. But there's a lot of things I think that I was ignoring, because I feel like I was just a weaker man, and a lot of red flags I would ignore. And I'm more of like a traditional man. I want a wife and a family and kids, and we both wanted that at first as well. I just think there's a lot of issues going on. Basically, I just I'm more of a modest man, I guess. And if I'm a modest man, then that counts as a controlling man, right? Because maybe I don't want my girlfriend walking around in topless beaches and wearing holy seashell bottoms where you can almost see her, you know what? And that makes me controlling and crazy and this and that. And yeah, man, I don't know. It's there's just been a lot of things that have been going on, and she ended up living with her mom in her mom's basement, and then her mom started really getting involved in our relationship, and she's listening to everybody else and this and that, and she's 32. I'm 26 years old, so
she's older than you.
She's older than me. Yep, I know your rule. I listen. I hear you. But I've been in this for 3 years, and I've been listening to you for about a month and a half. So
right now she's living with her mother?
Yep. And it's been that way for a little bit.
And your question for me is what?
Well, basically, even though I know that I should have been out of this relationship, it still tears me up, I think, in a sense, because, I'm kind of the type of person where it's like you put your mind to something and you can make things happen. You can make a change. And basically, my question for you is just I just basically need help on how to keep going stronger, just to forget her and leave.
Forget her.
Leave it behind.
Leave what behind?
I guess our relationship and the love that I have for her.
Oh, okay. So why do you think she is a strong woman? You said that she was independent and strong. Why do you think she's strong?
Well, I guess that's just the way that she would describe it. But in a sense, I mean, she would like to say that she's strong, but I guess, You know, she works night shifts and whatnot, and she works night shifts as a bartender.
Why do you say she's strong?
She's just kind of one of those women that, you know, she'll do her own thing and not really take flack from anyone. I don't know if that's considered strong or if that's considered.
There's no such thing as a strong woman. Just weak men, but no such thing as a strong woman.
Yeah, no, I hear you, because as I've been strengthening myself up and knowing what I want, and kind of not accepting and taking the things and putting up with what I've been putting up with, that's when things started to derail.
Yeah. So. What do you want from her now?
Well, I want to live, you know, more of a simple life. You know, I want us to spend quality time together. I want us to be at the house. I want us to work on, you know, quality things like building our relationship, you know, doing things together, you know, maybe saving up for a house, having a family, and basically doing things the right way, in a sense. And that's just not happening. So I got to beg her for it.
Have you been begging already?
No, I haven't. I mean, I haven't been begging. I'll throw out, you know, it's not like I'm sitting there like getting on my knees begging for it, but it's like I'll kind of, you know, lay down the line a little bit on, you know, what we need to be doing. And
ain't too proud to beg, and you know it. Please don't leave me, girl. Don't you go. Ain't too proud to plead, baby, baby. Please don't leave me, girl. Don't you
and
go.
It's hard to explain, but I feel like it's hard to explain, but she really falls in line with modern women nowadays. You know, and things are changing. Things are changing so much. And,
why do you want a family? Why do you want to be married with children? Why do you want a family?
I mean, I guess that's something that I feel like I always kind of lacked growing up. You know, my mom, she, you know, she was pretty self-centered, wasn't really the greatest mom, I guess. And my dad is just like my grandma. You know, he has a spirit of a woman. He's a very physically strong man, but a very mentally weak man. And I feel like that I fell into those roles as well.
And why do you say having a family will solve those issues for you?
I just think that's what, I just think that's like the role of life, in a sense. You know, I mean, you grow up, you work, you find a good woman for you, you have a family, and
no such thing as a good woman.
Right, I know what you mean, but in hopes, you know what I mean. the right woman, I guess I should say, right?
No such thing as a right woman. Here's what I suggest, Brandon. Because of all your wants from her, you're never going to find peace with her. You're not supposed to want for anything. And all these things that you're wanting for is only going to bring you more hell. You're already in hell, and these false ideas of what you think you want is just adding to your hell. And you're living in the imprisonment. You're imprisoned by your imagination, and you're consulting with the devil. And he keeps telling you that, well, this didn't work this time. How about this? That didn't work. How about getting a family? That didn't work. How about this? You're worshiping the devil. You must not want for anything, and then the truth will add all your needs, and it will be amazing. Because you have these, the devil is telling you you're feeling this or what you want. All you're doing is digging a deep hole for yourself. You were an older woman that is refusing to obey. And acting the way you say she's acting, that's just hell, man. Let her go, overcome the pain of want, seek the kingdom first, and you'll be fine.
No, you're right, because I've been trapped in that the whole time, just hoping, waiting for things to get better, and honestly, I'm almost myself miserable the whole time, even in the whole relationship.
It's never going to get better. You're never supposed to look outside for anything except practical. Go to work, drive your truck, make your money, put some away, and you save up to buy your own home. You save up and do what you want to do. You'll be fine. But you cannot want for anything. That's what got you in this hole with this female, and you're wanting for something from her, and she's never going to get it. give it. And if she gave it, it'd just be more hell along with the hell you're already receiving from her.
Yeah, and you're not wrong. I've always been on my own. I've been on my own since I was about 17, 18. I've been in the trades for about 6 years. You know, I'm a hardworking blue collar man, I would like to say, and that's why I'm kind of, you know, I feel stable and content with myself. I just, you know, I'm waiting for almost that.
Don't let those thoughts tell you that this is what you want. They're lying to you. You want a return to the Father. That's what's missing. Nothing else is missing but that. You want a return to the Father, but the imagination and the world, meaning other people who are lost, would tell you, oh, you need a family, you need this, you need a house, you need that. That's not the answer. You get yourself a house, you can buy a house by yourself. You don't need someone with you to buy a house. But have you forgiven your mother?
You know what? I've been getting there in my mind. Just trying to let it go, trying to find that peace. You know, like I said, I've listened to your show for a while, and I hear you talk about that. But I haven't went to my mom or dad, and I haven't did that yet. So.
Well, how will you ever find peace without forgiving?
Yeah, like I said, I'm trying to get to that point where I'm mentally forgiving. I just haven't verbally spoke it to them yet.
How will you ever find peace?
I don't want it to be unreal. You know, if I still have anger in me and I still have this and that, I'm trying to find it in myself to really get to that point. I don't want it to be fake. You know, I don't want to go there and say this and that, but not fully let it pass. You know.
Do you have anger?
I try not to, but a lot of times, I guess a lot of times I do, and I get short-tempered, and yeah.
Do you have anger?
Yes.
And how will you find peace unless you go and forgive?
I'm still trying to figure that one out.
You're not going to find peace. That's why your father, the devil, is trying to make you get involved with this woman that sounds like she's no good and just create more problems for you, because you're not going to find peace until you forgive your mother for turning you away from your father and your father for not protecting you from your mother. They could not help themselves. And don't ask for forgiveness. You forgive them and God will forgive you. Do you think you are right in having anger toward your parents?
I know it's not the way, I mean, that's just kind of what everything has led to, especially with me not, you know, going necessarily by the book, well, you know, like you do, which you've been helping me out with that. I wouldn't necessarily say I have the right to have the anger. I would just say that that's kind of the cause and effect, and the right thing to do is to get past it by everything that you've been speaking and preaching, you know, and that's where I'm trying to get.
And anger is evil, and unless you forgive, you're going to dwell in hell for the rest of your life within yourself, because the problem's not with your parents anymore and not with anyone but you, because you haven't gone and forgiven. And you can't wait till the mind tell you to forgive. The mind is never going to, you can't work that out in the mind, because the mind is evil. It's of the devil. And it doesn't want you. It doesn't want you to forgive.
No, you're right. And those are all those thoughts and, you know, all the doubts, the thoughts and doubts and the bad thoughts that I, you know, the stuff that makes me, you know, feel weak and upset and depressed and this and that. And it's like, you know, I just really want to just find that thing to be able to just move on, you know, like as a man, you know, be able to move on. That's why, like I said, listening to your show really has helped me. And I know, you know, that's why I wanted to get on the radio today for the first time and talk to you, because it has been helping me out a lot. And it's like I'm almost in denial. I'm in denial, you know, because it's like, hey, you know, I'm just trying to, you know, show anything that I say that I feel is reasonable and logical.
Hold on, Brandon.
Right.
Can you hold on? I got to take a quick break. The treasure chest is now open on D-Live. Back in a moment. We have a counseling service, and I have to admit, thanks to God, it is the best counseling service on this side of heaven. I counsel with men and women, families, individuals around the world. Most people are unhappy, they're miserable, they have rough lives, they're depressed, suicidal, young and old, of all races. I understand, I know why, and I do understand it. Because exactly what's happening in me is happening with everybody outside of me, inside of them. And I've noticed that with those who really, really, really want to understand, they overcome it just like that, out of one counseling session. If you need counseling, you can go to rebuildingaman.com or call 800-411-2663. 800-411-BOND. Best counseling service on this side of heaven. So the oppressed person or people are attacking the non-oppressed people. And then they claim to be oppressed, but they're attacking. What the? You ain't that oppressed.
What the?
What a mess. So listen, the Hake report is coming up at the top of this hour from 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time. The Hake report. And James Hake is on fire. He's on fire. From 9 to 11. The guy with the good hair? The guy with the shirt on today that says, July just feels white. And then after the Hake report, Joel Friday TV, he black. Joel Friday TV, arrest the parents. What's your name? What's her name? What's your name? Amazing. Joel Friday TV, he black. At 11 a.m. Pacific time. And then at 12 noon, the American anchor baby. A genius. Energy given to him by God. Very smart guy. At 12 noon Pacific time. All right? Go to rebuildingaman.com and make a donation for it. We need your support. We got a lot of work to do. rebuildingaman.com. All right? I want to go quickly back to Brandon. And Brandon dealing with this female that sounded like she's insane, according to Brandon. Brandon.
Yeah, I'm here.
Also, you should never, ever, ever, but never, never, never marry an older woman. That's your mama. You literally marry your mama, and she's never going to listen, and you're going to always catch hell.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I understand that because, because she's older. She ain't going to listen to anything that I say. She knows better, right?
She thinks she's better than you. In her mind, her own egotistical mind, because women are evil, the hell comes through the woman. She believes she's better than you, she know better than you, and you're the boy and she's the mama. So here's what I recommend, Brandon. Do what you want. Go and forgive your mother. Once you see clear, you have this anger because you have your mother's mindset right now and emotions. Any male that has anger is a female. You have her mindset and her emotions, and you're trying to get love when women don't have love to give. The love comes through the man, from God, through Christ, to the man, to the woman. Women do not have love to give. They only have hate. And forgive your father. He's weak because his mother screwed him up in the same way your mother screwed you up. So your father cannot deal with the hell that's in your mother. That's why he didn't protect you from her. And forget about this idea of wanting children and wanting this thing and wanting that. Once you work on your spiritual life, your life will become simple, and whatever would needed to be added to you will be added naturally by God, and it will be perfect. You won't have to struggle with it. You won't have to try to make it happen or make it work. It will work naturally without your effort. You're not supposed to make relationships work, period. It's not a give and take. That doesn't make for a relationship. That's just hell. Either it happens naturally or it doesn't happen at all. So I recommend you ban this woman from your phone. Don't contact her. Don't ask her back. When you see her, and if you run into her, how you doing, Brandon? Oh, all is well. Be done with her while you can. God forbid you should get her pregnant. She's going to drive you and your kids straight into hell. Then you have...
Oh, yeah, she can be evil. She even told me one time, she goes, I could turn into the worst person you know.
See there? And yet you want her back.
I knew right then. I don't necessarily want her back. I think your message is great, and I think more men need to listen to it and you know, stand up and stop worshiping the women and stop falling under the woman. And as soon as I did that, it was just a wake-up call, really, because as soon as I stopped kind of letting things happen and worshiping her, everything, she wasn't wanting to have none of it. I wasn't under her no more.
Well, be glad she's gone, and do not let her back into your world, no matter what she says, because she'll see you becoming independent and strong. Satan gonna send her back to try to stop you and destroy you.
Yeah, well, every time I listen to you, it helps me out, and I feel like Satan tries to come at me, and that's why I listen to you almost every day. And if I'm not listening to you live, I'm watching your videos because they really help me. They keep me in line, and I feel like if I'm not focusing and I'm not continuing the practice of, you know, listening to the things that you're saying, then you know, it's almost like you're under attack all the time. It tries to make you weak when you're not trying to be strong.
Absolutely, man. So go work on yourself and let me know how it goes. All right.
All right, sir. You have a great day.
You too, buddy. Amazing. Let me go to Denmark and talk to Amelia, our first-time caller. There's one line open, 888-77-JESSE. Amelia out of Denmark. Welcome to the show, first-time caller.
Hello, Mr. Jesse. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I just heard about what you and Mr. Brandon was talking about, and I could relate at some point because I am just getting engaged, and you know, luckily before I got engaged, I listened to your program and I asked the woman 2 questions. The first question is, I asked her on the first date, "Are you gonna obey me?" And she looked at me like I was crazy or something. And I said, "Listen, if we were getting married, you know, I cannot be with one who are not going to obey me."
Right.
So she was looking at me like, that's a little weird question, but she's a traditional girl, you know. So I explained to her, like, listen, to obey your husband doesn't mean that you are my slave or anything. But when I tell you to do something, I'm telling you to do something because it's for the best of both of us. So when I explained it like that, she understood it, right? And then I asked her, "How old are you?" Because if she was older than me, I couldn't marry her because I don't want to marry my mother, you know?
That's right.
So after that, she understood everything, and I said, "Listen, I don't want to play no game or waste no time. Do you want to get married? Yes or no?" You know, right at that spot, and she was like, "You are too direct," and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, "Listen, do you want to waste time, or do you want to do something right with your life and get married? Because that's what you are supposed to do, like, as a woman, right?" And she was like, "Okay, let's get to know each other." And now we got to know each other. Now we're engaged, and we're getting married this year.
How long have you been dating her?
Now for 4 months.
4 months?
Yes.
And when are you planning to marry her?
September.
Of this year?
This year. Yes, 28 September.
Do what you want, of course, Emilia, but I highly recommend you give it a year. At least a year, because from the year that you asked her to marry you, I will wait a year because she's not ready to marry yet.
Okay.
I would no sex or anything and wait for a year.
No, never.
Well,
never. I don't even touch her.
Yeah, well, wait for a year. Do not marry her in September. Give it a full year and see what happens.
Okay. And anything I am supposed to watch, like look for anything specific? Do you recommend me to look for anything?
I will recommend you work on you, and then you will, and I promise you, working on yourself and overcoming all that emotional stuff and everything, the thoughts, you will see her clearly, and you will see what you're getting into. And if you see that it's hell, you won't do it. If you see that it'll be fine, you'll do it. But just continue to work on you, and just be yourself, and be honest with her. You'll be fine.
Thank you, Mr. Peterson.
I
wanted to answer. Sorry, yes.
Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes, I actually did.
Okay.
And it went very smooth and very easy. I just went to her and said, "Look, mother, as a child, I resented you because you forced your will upon me.
Nice.
And I forgive you for that, and I'm sorry for resenting you." And she didn't quite understand it. But I then asked her, "Have you forgetting your parents and your mother for turning you away against your father?" And she looked at me and she thought about it, and she said, "Actually, I have, yes, and I forgave my father as well." I said, "Good." And that's how it's supposed to. Yes, sorry.
Just do the silent prayer now and watch those thoughts and give this at least a year before you marry this woman, and you'll see what to do.
Yes, I will do that. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. And I wanted to ask you about the biblical question.
From this week or last week?
This week now, actually, because I already listened to church for last week, and you gave the answer, basically, and I was 100% agreeing with you.
Do you have a fear of criticism?
No, I don't have any more, because now I can see that the fear is not me, and I watch it, and I just look at it and don't let it affect me. And also, if people give you some critique, sometimes if you listen, maybe it's something good, you can use. For example, I work as a house painter, and my job is painting people's houses. And if people give me some critique or colleagues give me some critique, it's okay. I just listen. I don't think about it. I don't let it affect me. And I just listen. That's it.
Right on.
So I'm not afraid of it, because the only fear I have is the rational fear, like fear of getting stabbed or something like that, something crazy.
Well, I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you, Emilio. I appreciate it. All the way from Denmark.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Peterson. Have a nice day.
You too, buddy. Call me again.
I will. Thank you.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Bye. Amazing. Let me go to Nevada and talk to first-time caller Chris. Let's see here. Chris, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, how are you?
All is well, Chris.
All right. Hey, I'm just calling for some advice. I'm married, and I have a 3-year-old son and a 1-year-old son. And my wife's aunt is dying of cancer, and she probably is not going to make it, probably a couple months, I'm thinking. And she's a lesbian. And she's all... Right. And I told my wife that I'm not going to be bringing my kids down to go to a funeral, and she got all upset. And I just don't want my kids to be around that mess. And I just wanted to know what you think. I already know what I'm going to do. I already told my wife what I'm going to do. I just wanted to see what you'd say.
If you don't want to take your kids, you have a total right not to, but just don't judge the lesbian. She couldn't help herself. She's dealing with the same spirit that every human being deals with. She resents her mother. She resents her father, and the devil is controlling her mind and emotions. And she's give it a name to it rather than calling it evil. So just don't resent the person that's dying, quote unquote, and don't be mad at your wife for overreacting, but you have a right not to take your kids, man.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear what you say. Thanks a lot, Jesse.
You're welcome, buddy. Amazing.
Have a good day.
You too. Let me go quickly to Jerry. There's a line open, 888-7753-773. Jerry out of Georgia. Georgia on my mind. Jerry, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on, Jesse?
All is well, Jerry.
Just wanted to answer the biblical question and ask a question afterwards.
Do you have fear of criticism?
No, I don't have any fear.
All right. I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you.
I don't have any fear because that means somebody's always going to have something to say.
Yeah.
Whether you do good or bad.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of putting someone else on a pedestal. Now it's okay to take advice from people, but criticism is the best feeling in the world. Living life, not really caring what people got to say, because they're going to say something. It doesn't matter what you do. Doesn't matter what shoes or clothes or house. Somebody's going to always say something, Jesse.
Yeah, that's amazing. I want to respond to that, but I got to wait until Sunday. But very interesting, man.
Also, I want to talk about, not ask a question, but really talk about the mother's nature. I know that the show was in it. So about, about the mothers and the women being evil. And I sat here and tried to really kind of understand where you was going at with that.
Yes.
But it makes a lot of sense, because even that caller that you just called with, he was so quick to forgive his father, but not his mother, because he even knows himself that his mother's evil.
Yeah.
He knows that if he goes to his mother, she's going to be all emotional and all just emotional. And that's why, the woman is, it's their nature. When you say that all women are evil, or it's just in their nature, and they're lost, and they need, not saying they need a man, but the man is supposed to help them overcome that nature, because they can't help it. It's just in them. It's just in them to be emotional. Like,
well, that nature came from Eve. When Eve listened to the serpent became the woman's god. And so that's being passed down to all women.
Right, and Eve wasn't a specific, race. She was a spirit. She was the Asian, the white, the black. She was
that's right.
When they say mother of all, they mean, spiritually. I don't go down that little rabbit hole, but it makes a lot of sense why women are very, very emotional. They'll destroy their family for their own ego, emotional type of. I don't know. Honestly, Jesse, I don't know. Women are kind of weird. I don't know. They're just. I don't know what's wrong with them. You know what I'm saying? I love women. You get what I'm saying? But their nature, their way of thinking,
let me just say this, because I got to run. They need to return to the Father, just as the men. And God said, all who are born of the woman must be born of the Father. They must be born again. They need a brand new nature. They got to overcome the anger. Jerry, thank you, man. I got to run. I appreciate you.
No problem.
All right. Super chat.
Super chats. 5 coffees from Alex. Jesse, church was amazing! ! God sent his son, and he died for all, and we are free. And I realize, as you say, if you don't love all, you love none. God loves all, or he sent his son for nothing.
That's right.
Cheers, my brother. There was a renewed strength in me to let go and let God.
Amazing. Stay with it, stay with it, stay with it. Just imagine, Christ said, all of your sins have been wiped away. And yet human beings run around saying, I'm a sinner. Even a Christian, I'm a sinner, I'm a sinner. They only said it because the preacher told them, or their mama or daddy told them, or somebody. It's not true. And that's what the devil wants you to do, so he tell you that too. You're free. Christ died for you, wiped it away. You identify with the evil spirit of the imagination. Thank you.
Over on Buy Me a Coffee, the Observer of Thoughts. Good morning, guys. Sunday Fellowship was awesome. I saw examples of people being intellectually aware. Awareness comes only from God. If you think you're aware, you're not. Amazing.
Thank you. Amazing. Thank you.
It's midnight. Your Uber driver bought a coffee, picked up Jesus from Fellowship on Sunday, and he said it was amazing.
Amazing. Thank you.
This morning, I dropped off a reporter from the local news to the city courthouse for jury duty, and a block in front of us, a car was on fire. What the? Happy Monday, Bond Network.
What a mess. Thank you.
Someone bought a coffee. I just watched a video of how the high school was in the 90s, and it was unbelievable. You can see how naturally happy and free the boys and girls were, especially the girls. The Me Too movement and DEI and all the politically correct nonsense destroyed everything.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you.
I'm a thought watcher, bought 5 coffees. Hi, Jesse. I agree about the Muslims not liking Christians. You have to understand that some Jews hate Christians, too. They believe the white Christians are racist, and these hateful Jews assume that Christians hate them. They call it anti-Semitism. It's all hate and anger, though. All must forgive, and the Christians are guilty of this as well. What a mess. Thank you, Jesse.
Well, one thing for sure and without a doubt, all must forgive, and you can find anger, which is hatred, in all races. There's no limitation. All races. And then you find a few that are starting to overcome by forgiving. Thank you.
WD-41, 3 diamonds on D-Live saying thanks.
Thank you.
Aries 1, 2 diamonds. Weaker Vessel Wednesday. Manhood Monday. We were made first.
Amazing.
Thank you for your suggestion.
Yeah.
C on C bought a coffee. You wore the monkey shirt at church. Laughing face with tears. Monkey emojis. One monkey don't stop no show. Musical notes emojis.
One monkey don't stop no show. If you don't want my love, you're free to go. You can go. You can go. Thank you, CI. Amazing.
Chris Circa bought a coffee. What do you think of all the videos of Jews spitting on Christians in Israel? Muslims think that Jews and Christians are infidels, and Jews think Muslims and Christians are goyim. Why are you taking sides when they are both evil?
The devil is busy. Amazing. Thank you.
Someone bought 3 coffees. Hi, Jesse. I was born in the U.S., but since my family owned a business in Mexico, I lived there almost 25 years. In 2017, I was kidnapped, which has left me with a fear of returning and anger towards those who spread lies about me. Does this mean I'm not being manly?
Well, I wouldn't recommend you return to physical danger like that. That doesn't make sense, right? That's not logical, but don't be angry. And that way, the fear will go away, because fear is of the devil. And if you're angry, you're going to end up in another situation. So don't be angry. But I wouldn't recommend you go back to a bad situation. Thank you.
Patrick from South New Jersey bought a coffee. Female Monday is seriously so dang good, brother. I feel like I start my week with my boys and the thoughts disappear. Thank you, Jesse.
Thank you. Amazing.
5 coffees from Patty. Jesse, you are a gift from God. I love you.
I love you back. Thank you.
No I in Jesse. Jesse. Sion bought 3 coffees. Jesse, bear emoji. If you and your experts were talking about stupid or of this world type of messages, you would have more money donated. But because you were talking about some real deep spiritual awakening things, y'all don't get much. LOL. All kinds of silly and stupid videos which are not beneficial for our souls get more views and donations. Amazing.
Amazing. People love their hell. Thank you.
Nate bought 5 coffees. Does God give us warnings? The pastor spoke on that this Sunday. She got the topic
Lord.
From the recent earthquakes on the East Coast. I am not in agreement.
Nice. I don't know what you mean by give us warning. But thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Retro Memento donated a Rumble rant. Where is my JLP action figure?
It's on the way.
We're
working on it.
You'll see it tomorrow. Still not for sale.
Slowly but surely.
Donnie, Girl's Idea, asks, how do I ask for the raise I deserve? The conversation stirs up raw emotions, and I lose it. Fear doesn't describe it. I am in a struggle beyond words.
Relax. Face the fear. Call your boss into a private place, his office or whatever, and just ask for the raise. Shaking in your boots. Thank you.
Someone bought 5 coffees. Church was extra amazing yesterday. Was it because you were standing up? Love you all, and thank you.
I decided to stand for a while. Amazing. Rebuildingtheman.com/church if you were not there. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. And it was just on fire. I never know how those meetings going to go. I'm learning as I'm speaking. It's amazing. Thank you.
Shout out to the top contributors, WD41, Aries 1, Misty, and the rest. Appreciate you guys on D Live.
Thank you.
And thanks, guys. I do believe that is all for now.
Amazing. Thank you. I totally appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Get on that straight and narrow. Stay there. I'm telling you. Don't get off. Don't veer away, all right? Because the devil wants you to, and the devil inside of others want you to. Don't do it. You fight a spiritual battle. And don't fight it, just be aware of it. And the Lord will fight your battle. The light will fight it, the truth will fight it. So do the silent prayer, rebuildingtheman.com/prayer, and watch. Go forgive your mama. Everybody in the world, you got to forgive your mother and your father for not protecting you from mama. He couldn't help it. And she couldn't help herself. The Hake Report is coming up now. The Hake Report, then Joel Friday TV. He black. And then the American Anchor Baby. Jason, or Jarson, Darren, a first-time call out of Ohio. Nicholas, first-time call out of Wisconsin. Ray, out of Virginia. And the caller that just dropped, I'm out of time. I'll be back tomorrow, though, if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. And I forgot to mention, we're having a women's forum this Thursday night at 7 p.m. for ladies only, every third Thursday night. All right? See you there, ladies. I'll be back tomorrow if the Lord is willing and the creek don't rise. Thank you for your donations and all that. Take care. I know we can find a way.
Know that so you get something went wrong, but face the truth about yourself and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way. You must know that so you get something went wrong, but and just seek first God's kingdom, cause I know we can find a way. I know we can find a way.
So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer, and I want you to start doing it. You just download it, get the points of how to do it, and then after a while, you just do it on your own. It's going to point you in the right direction that your life will be returned to you from God. He will give you your life back, because anyone and all people who has anger, they're not themselves. You are the person that you are angry at. That's why it's so important to get to know yourself so that you can see who you're angry at. And if you're doing the hooping and hollering prayers and things like that, some people get up, oh, praise the Lord, hoop and holler, bless my mama, bless my daddy. Continue to do it. Do both. You will see if you want to stay with the hooping and hollering, or do you want to be still and know God. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they get mad. I'm like, what the? If you overreact, folks, remember to do that. Don't overreact. And when you get mad, it's your problem. It ain't your wife's problem, your husband's problem, your neighbor, your friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax.